We are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing episodes of the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh, but most times we go deep. I'm your host, David Cameo, and I'm joined by Cosmom09, Rachel Burt, Bridget, ko-fi.com/punkybrewster, that's PUNKYBRUISETER. You fuck, what are you laughing about? And Whispers tier members, jasmine.iac on Instagram, Aiden, ko-fi.com/Aiden Atkin, and brand spanking baby new Mitchell. I found them Rick G on Twitter. And so now you all unmute yourselves, you fucks. We're here live with you to talk to
Bridget.
you. Yeah, exactly.
I was laughing so hard for so long, I couldn't unmute.
Mitchell, did you switch?
Johnny Five, hey.
Did you switch to your your headphone mic again? No, right?
Yeah, I did.
Oh no, why did you do that? Because now it's gonna make a little rattly noises. Because now I'm gonna be a tyrant today. You silly man. All right. Well, I can't tell you to. I can't switch it for you. But hold on a second. Let me try that one more time.
So many hearts.
Help.
Send help and sandwiches.
SOS.
Oh,
Oh,
I hear New York.
that wasn't me though. It wasn't me. I
Someone
promise.
helping.
Oh, wow.
So Mitchell, you can't switch your mic now, right?
No, I can.
Okay, I won't let you, right? Okay, hold on. Let's stop the recording at least. But hey, everybody, we're here live with you to talk to you about the
my
final
God.
episode of The Walking Dead, titled "Rest in Peace," the 24th episode of The Walking Dead's. Okay, you got it now?
I think so.
Okay, let's rock it.
Oh, that sounds
Praise
different.
God.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We're all. This is a ramshackle obturation, everybody.
Obturation.
All right, Sakira, it's
I
good to
thought
see
you
you on
said
YouTube.
Ray is God, and I'm like, okay.
All right. Well, what do we talk about first, folks? Because this is going to be quite the banger of an episode. So-
Let's just be like, hey, awesome job, guys. Way to go. Done.
Congratulations.
Oh, classic
done
avoidance,
talking about
like the
it.
last few episodes.
Yep.
By the way, I just wanted to say our last episode was actually, we recorded like 3 hours of material and could only use half of it because we were so busy avoiding talking about the episode.
Yeah.
We were laughing, making jokes. But if you want a copy of that unedited episode where we were constantly... Hey, oh, I'm only talking here right now.
That's why I whispered.
Motherfucker!
Dave. Gosh.
Kidding.
I'm trying to be respectful.
But yeah, if you wanted a copy of that unedited episode where we were laughing our faces off, constantly trying not to talk about the episode, you can head on over to either ko-fi.com/squawkingdead or patreon.com/squawkingdead and get a hold of our last episode, which is episode 208. Was that the one we were classically avoiding talking about this episode?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes.
Well.
Yeah, it was 208.
So before we continue, though, I do think... Oh, so do you think they will release the unedited ending? Yeah, actually, I think they might. But... it's Johnny Fives Live from Instagram. I think they might, but... They might do it only on either AMC Plus or the... I think they might, but... They might do it...
Jasmine.
That's not me. That's not me.
That was Mitchell. I could tell. They might do it on the DVD, basically. DVD/box set or DVD final season. So,
Quick, get your Werthers.
what do you mean, Takira? By we're doing this for all the spinoffs, right? What lives? No, we're never
Live.
going live
I
again.
think-
We're never. No, that's it. That's it. You had your chance. y'all,
We used to only go live.
y'all's fucked it up. And yeah, no, I'm kidding. Of course we'll do it. We might do this live for something that I have planned in the works. Hopefully, we'll get it done before The Walking Dead Dead City. So, by the way, if you have the YouTube page open right now and you're with me right now in this recording, pop out the chat rather than using the page because that will put the chat in a special window. Anyway. Okay, so I do have something to say, and we have a Black Friday sale in our merch store. That means 40%, up to 40% off in our merch store, which is a pretty sweet deal if you're not a tier member who get the Whispers and Survivors tier members do get 50% off the merch store. So enjoy that.
I'm gonna
But
have to
for
do some shopping.
but the rest of you will get 40% off. That's right. Well, Rach, you can get this stuff for free. God damn it! I keep telling her, like, I want to support the podcast, and I'm like, you do with your love.
You won't take my money, so I
don't want to take your money. God damn it! But yes, up to
Take my
40%
money,
off the merch
damn it.
store.
But he
Head
wants
over
to take your money.
Head over to
Beaver.
squawkingdead.com, click the main
Yes.
menu on the top left, and choose merch. Or the link to our merch store is in every YouTube and Facebook description, I think. Well, maybe. Anyway, so. But we're broadcasting on all streaming platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram.
TikTok?
No, that needs a little time and massaging. What are you laughing at, Aiden? What are you laughing at? I can see you.
Nothing at all.
I can see you.
Squawking Dead gummies. Ooh, no, there's a thought.
It's a thought. It's not a.
Can you get like our faces on gummies?
It's a very.
No.
It's a very dangerous thought. What happened to Mitchell?
And then people could just like bite our faces off.
I can't.
What with this ramshackle operation? What can't
I
you?
can't handle it. I can't handle it.
Takira.
These brain gummies for people who like to eat brains.
Oh, okay. That seems normal.
Ooh, me.
Yeah, we got them from the viewing party.
This is true. I have a whole bag full. Of course, Bridget has more.
Hey, Mitchell.
She walked out.
They're
think
for
this-
all my friends.
I think it might be your internet
for all
connection,
my
no? Or
I think it's so, yeah.
okay. Well, let's keep on rolling, folks. With the sale, with the brain gummies, that it's not going to happen. But and oh, I hear myself. Who am I hearing myself from?
Good.
All right.
Joel.
What?
No, it's why we can't always blame Mitchell for everything.
I didn't. I blamed Jasmine last time, and she said it wasn't me.
Anyway. Okay, so we're going to talk about first impressions because this could be a multi-layered opportunity to talk about well, because this episode kind of hits you on two levels. There is the meat of the episode, and then there's the end. Obviously, the little stinger with Rick and Michonne out in the wild. So I do want to tackle the end first because that's going to be a little obvious. I want to talk about how it made you feel to see Rick's little eye line. Let's start with Mitchell. Let's start with that. When you saw Rick pop onto the screen at the end of that dissolve,
Wow.
where
Oh my god.
what, was it Judith and RJ? Right. What was the end? No, it was when
Daryl
Daryl.
riding off on
Daryl,
bike.
right. Daryl riding
Yeah.
off on the motorcycle. I just saw it, literally. What's wrong with me? All right, so give me your feelings on that. What was the first thing you did? You were with us at the viewing
I
party,
was. The first thing, I was like, I think, I was like so happy. And then I didn't have any words because I was like, this is not real kind of thing. And then by the time it ended, I was like, wow, I really missed them.
I did too. Jasmine, I want to get your take on, because you have a very unique perspective in that you've been with us for all the spin-offs, and we rarely get you on a Walking Dead breakdown. We have, but we rarely do.
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't fully processed it all yet. Like, I feel like part of me's like, yeah, it's still not ended. It's still not ended. Like, I can't accept it. But I did think it was really powerful to see like the return of Rick and Michonne and all of the, we're the ones that live, and like you look back on some of their moments and you're like, there's I mean I had a good cry, but
You did? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Rachel, let's stop avoiding your feelings and talk about. I mean, are you? Have you classically been a Michonne / Rick or Michonne and Rick fan? I don't really hear you talk about them much.
I don't think there's characters that I'm like not fans of. I have my favorites, and then there's the rest of them, right?
That was Aiden.
That was weird.
Well, you made the face, no? Or
Now we're gonna blame everybody.
Oh, I'm talking to Dave.
I'm watching all of you. I'm like hawks. I'm like, no. Oh, and Mitchell's gone again.
Damn it.
keep going, Rachel. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I dislike Michonne or Rick. I'm just not, I don't know, I don't get all the feels when I see him on screen or anything either. Although, you know, this episode was, yes, Eliza. Yeah, we're both just glad Carol survived. That was pretty much, and Jerry. Carol and Jerry were like, I'm like, just make it to the end.
Jerry, no. Jerry, no.
Yeah.
That was
Nice.
it's etched
Yeah,
into my
react.
conscious reaction video from the last episode. Well, 208, not 209. Anyway,
Right.
but you did feel something when you saw either of them.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was a very appropriate way to wrap everything up. They did it very beautifully, and I teared up a little bit, just a little bit.
I think it was more for me. It was more about what was said.
Yeah, yes, hearing what they had to say, you know, writing to Judith, I presume, right? I mean, it sounded like they were both writing to Judith.
I feel like
And
he
it
was
was just
writing to
really beautiful.
Michonne. That's a good thing to probably ask. I think Rick was writing to Michonne, and Michonne was writing to the kids.
Okay, fair enough, because Judith was a baby, still a baby when he left, so it'd be more likely that he'd be writing to Michonne.
Right. And we are playing with
But yeah,
time.
I just thought it was beautiful.
I do want to talk. I do want to mention that we are playing with time as Rick
Oh,
is
absolutely.
right. As Rick is writing his letter in a bottle, a message in a bottle.
Yeah.
You do see the boots and the little iPhone with the
Yeah.
etching on it.
I will say there is something that gets me every time I see Rick smile like that. That smile that he had right before it fades to
thinking
white.
that. Yes.
Like there is something that gets me when I see that smile of his.
What do you think it is? Is it that? But because I can't describe it as much. Well, actually, Bridget, what do you think about that? The smile, seeing the scene. Just if you can add on to that or backtrack even.
Okay.
I'm trying to include everybody. Aiden,
I know.
you're last. Okay.
It's a lot of people to talk to about it. So I felt like everything. It's not wrapped up nice and neatly, right? But like that's the intention.
Oh.
That's the intention.
Okay.
There's so many open-ended paths here to go, and that's fine because obviously they want to continue making content, and I'm happily along for the ride. So I'm okay with things not completely being wrapped up. That's fine. The Rick little portion and the Michonne portion, I was happy to see it, but I was also kind of like, I didn't need it. There were people who needed it. So they were like, I'll never watch this stupid show again if Rick doesn't come back, which doesn't make any sense because the show's
'Cause,
ending.
yeah,
in
it's
an
the last
idiot.
episode.
That is an empty threat, my friends. But
This is something that we actually talked about too, by the way. We said he didn't have to show up.
And he didn't have
No.
to. I was fine with that. I knew we were getting the spinoff, so it did not bother me. Now, if I wasn't in tune to what was being put out on social media and doing the Comic-Con coverage with you, Dave, and all of that, then maybe this would have had a big impact. If I didn't know anything that was going to happen, and then all of a sudden Rick was on the screen again, I probably would have pooped my pants. It was nice to see him, and it was nice to see Michonne. But I didn't need it. I see that they're trying to kind of lead us in. You know, I think, and that was smart. It's been a long time since we've seen either character, and the setup for this spin-off is way in the rear view. So it's smart that they kind of push this back into our thoughts and into the front
I agree.
of our minds for us. So I get what they were doing. I didn't need it, but I wasn't mad about it. It was cool because it was the playing with time, which I did not put together at the initial watch, but that's because I was blubbering like a baby, like the whole episode. I probably cried more than Rachel, actually, which is like...
I think that's actually accurate. I was
Yeah,
checking
cried
in on
a
both
lot.
of you.
I cried a lot.
And
Well,
I
if I didn't
I
have
was not
a super
okay.
big surprise that day, it would have been a lot worse.
I was
well,
not okay.
hey, That was
I had a reason to smile that day.
Yeah, for those who didn't know, Sharon was originally not going to be able to make it to Anthony's That's My Viewing Party, which is where Mitchell, Rachel, I, and Bridget were watching the series finale, and
And the intern.
And intern.
Mitchell. Oh, an intern. Yeah,
Intern
Akila.
Akila.
So, so she had messaged me the day before on Saturday saying, I think I can make it, but I need to borrow some money. And I said, think nothing of it. And I lent her some money, and she made it. Only a couple hours before the finale was to start. So,
Yes, and if you didn't see the video of her surprising me, then you must be living under a rock.
or not following
The video
Cosmod09
cuts
on the
off
socials.
As I come up yelling, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
This is true. Already bawling. She walks up already bawling.
What's funny is you were literally talking to somebody and you shoved
I
whoever it
just
was
shoved-
away.
Well, she
I
was talking to
Mitchell.
me.
Oh, Bridget.
Yeah.
Bridget shoved someone. Is that what you're saying?
No, you, Rachel. You were talking to
Oh, no,
Mitchell,
I was-
I guess. And you were
I
like,
was talking to
shut
Mitchell."
up! Shut up! And then you
I
ran.
said-
No, literally,
I went like this to Sheila. Like,
She literally
stop talking to
shouted
me.
"shut up" like 5 times.
right? She said, shut up, shut up, shut up.
But she did shove me out of the way. She shoved a stranger out of the way.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. It was so fucking funny.
Sorry, guys.
A little behind the scenes
Sorry,
on even
Riz,
your
sorry.
video. Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
Aiden, we're gonna move on, but Aiden, I have a question to ask you because do you think this episode would have been as good? I mean, first of all, was this episode good? But if good, do you think this episode was as good as would have been as good as it was had they not included that ending piece with Rick and Michonne?
I mean, I mean, them showing up was one of the 3 times I jumped out of my seat during the episode.
Well,
But
yeah.
I wasn't as like when people like all year have been saying they need to come back for the final season. They need to come back for the final season. Obviously, I love both of them and I wanted to see them, but it was more important for me to get closure on some of the others, especially knowing that they had a spinoff coming down the road. Like I wanted closure for our other people that we've been with. But I'm super happy they included it, and I mean I would have been satisfied even if they didn't show them. But I think that it definitely does add a major boost to it. But I feel like going back, knowing they're in it that time, and how the scene plays out, it's not as cool as it is the first time. Just because there's really not a whole lot to the scenes other than... And it feels like, in a way, they're like, everyone's going to be screaming when they watch this the first time, so it really doesn't matter what we put in here. But I mean, I still loved it.
Well, the reason
As
why.
someone in a room of people, it's true. There was a lot of screaming.
Yeah. Okay, I'll talk about that later. I asked you this question because there have been a few articles out there that have mentioned that this episode wasn't really like an ending
Sorry.
episode. What?
Jasmine, what?
I have to go
Stop
to
it.
sleep.
Stop it.
What? After
I
an
have to
hour?
wake up early.
Hey, it's David. What up, David?
All right. Well, let's say.
You guys wasted the first 45 minutes setting up the camera.
What?
It's true. It's true.
Jasmine, I'm
was
so
here.
sad.
Oh yeah, thumbs up. God damn it.
Well, say
Well,
more things before
hey,
you go.
Jasmine.
Say more things.
Jasmine's gonna leave right now, and she's gonna make sure her upload's complete.
No.
But
No,
thank.
shush. Let Jasmine say more things before she goes.
Well then, fine.
say more things.
Jasmine, did you like this episode? Did you think
Yeah.
that the end scene was great? And would actually
Yeah.
do you same question that I asked Aiden? Do you think this episode would have been as good without that end scene?
I'd say yes. I'd say like the first half of the episode and all the action and everything was like really great, and then there was obviously like all the emotional stuff after Rosita, and I feel like that all like came to like a satisfactory ending. We got to find out what was going on with our characters that were in the show. So like I feel like I'm like not complaining that the Rick and Michonne stuff is there. I was like very hyped that it was there, but like I don't think it needed to be there.
Okay. Well then, Jasmine, do you have any final words to give everybody on the stream?
Yeah, I cried harder at Luke's death than Rosita's.
I was very upset. At that.
Oh.
Like, Luke.
The new heart of the show. I screamed when Jules got bit. I have people who we have a reaction video, but that we have to make eventually, edit down. But I was just like, no. I was like a bro about it. I was like, no, you don't do that. And then like obviously everybody, obviously
I don't
Jules was
recall
gonna die.
this. I don't recall this.
I will pull up the
I
footage.
think it was more feminine.
Also, I expected
probably
more
was.
deaths. I would have been happy with a couple more deaths. Just saying.
Happy is a very choice word for deaths.
Yeah, I mean like from a plot point, not from a like haha you died point.
I choose the latter. So, Jasmine, thank you for joining us. And I hope we get to do something like this again,
Bye,
where we get to include
Jazzy.
more Whispers members again for things. Because now we have 6 people, and we will soon have 5. Wah. Have
Bye,
a have a good
Jazzy.
night, Jasmine.
I love you.
I love you.
Love you.
guys.
And
Can
then
I
there were
mention-
5.
Can I mention what Sharon D brought up in the chat because it is a super good point.
Well, no, actually,
we had a long talk about this.
I wanted to go
Sorry.
into. Milani actually said, "Do you think that Rick's smile at the end was a murder Rick Grimes, or was it like happy Rick Grimes?"
And we're
It's a
back
very
to,
good
like,
question.
Like murder jacket.
Yeah, murder jacket, like
Yeah.
about
Murder
to
jacket,
fuck
right.
shit up.
I like that. I like that.
Aiden, what do you think?
Game on, bitch. That's kind of how I took it. Like, I mean, really, like, because like I feel like Rick's had a few different smiles, and just like I also kind of felt like, you know, he was satisfied that he was able to get like his message and the phone and the boot, like whatever he was trying to get out, and he was just kind of like, all right, game on. That's how I took it, at least.
I happen to think the latter. I don't know, for some reason I think he was just glad to get the message out. Or something about it. Or I don't know. It could be a meta thing too, like breaking the fourth wall, smiling at all of you who watch the show. Like could be a double purpose, sure, but there was something about that smile that I thought maybe was for us. Did you guys maybe?
I don't know. Only
feel
so
that?
many people can fit in that helicopter, and I'm pretty sure Rick could kill them all. So he's probably like, yeah, bring it on.
Okay. All right, let's see here. Well, what did you guys? If you're gonna bring up Sharon D's thing, is it about the end?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Let's do it.
So Sharon D said, I think the time frame Rick is in is the same as the world beyond. So maybe their actions in the world beyond allowed Rick to escape the CRM, which is like such a cool thought. Because yeah, how would he have gotten away from them? That's where he was to like do this random throwing of the backpack on the boat situation. So that's a really great.
You're talking about the
that's a
beginning of
really
World
great
Beyond, though,
idea,
too.
actually.
It's a
No.
Well,
The
no.
end of World
no,
Beyond.
The end.
The end.
Where they mess everything up. And they cause the CRM to be like super distracted.
okay.
Yeah, but it kind of seems like he could have escaped multiple times beforehand, though, too. Because it seems like he's tried to do it before.
Well, based on
I don't know. but
your
it just kinda
intuitions. Well,
yeah,
but-
it just kind of seems
Something
like
that
it.
Rick would do.
yeah,
Because he's trying to find his family again, so I feel like he was trying to escape multiple times, and they just kind of knew where to find him this time. It seems like.
well, on that note, actually, the helicopter pilot actually says something very specific. He says, "Consignee
Remember what
Grimes."
he
Let me
says
just say the whole
or
thing.
something.
Consignee Grimes, you've been located and instructed to surrender and remain in place with your hands up. And this is the thing. Come on, Rick. It's like he told you. There's no escape for the living. Now, first of all, it's a great foil to We're the Ones Who Live. But who is the he?
Beale.
Major General Beale? No, I mean, that's a
I'm
valid
kidding. I
answer.
don't
Why are
know.
you kidding? Why are you kidding? Wake
No,
up,
like,
sheeple.
I feel like it could be General Beale, because he could just be in like the passenger side of the helicopter. Plus, it also sounds like Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh, wouldn't
That's
that
kind
be
of what the voice sounded like.
I just look at the credits to find out who that was.
There was no credits for that.
Oh, it's true. It was a post-credit scene, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or no. Well, Aiden, go ahead.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, hold on. Repeat what? Can you repeat it one more time? Like what he said?
Okay, so he says, Consignee Grimes, you've been located and instructed to surrender. Remain in place with your hands up. Pause. There's a little pause. Come on, Rick. It's like he told you. There's no escape for the living.
See, I swore it said she told you.
It's he told.
He.
It's like he
Credits,
told you.
or I'm sorry, captions say he.
Yeah.
Okay.
Captions
So
have been
what is
wrong, but
consi-
it's a he.
What is consignee?
You've
What is
been-
a consignee?
Consignee. It's like when you're
What is that?
consigned to a station or consigned to a person, meaning like you're
Okay.
You're being
Not
temporary.
in any way. Not in any way a voluntary type position, correct?
I would say not. No. And
Okay.
I immediately thought of Jadis in that.
I've never heard that word before.
And that's it. Well, you've heard of consignment, right? Well, we actually talked
Yes.
about that.
Yes, that's why I was confused. I know the word consignment.
Yeah, consignments
But-
are basically like welfare. An allotment of something. But when you're a consignee, you're allotted to a station or you're allotted to someone. You're consigned to someone. You're designated for someone or for something. And I saw that immediately as Jadis consigning Rick to something. And let's talk about that something. Well, as you let that quote marinate about it's like he said, there's no escaping the living, which is a very odd statement, too. There's no escaping the living. Yeah, there's no escape for the living. Sorry, I should say that right. What he's wearing and what he's holding is I flipped out. I loved the fact that, first of all, he was not a CRM soldier. He was not there willingly. I loved being wrong about the assumption that he would be a soldier or that he would have to purposefully stay away from his family in order to keep them safe. I love that I was wrong about that. There's something to be said about loving being wrong. But for World Beyond fans, for people who actually fucking watch the show, this was such a treat because he was wearing the exact same outfit as Silas when he was consigned to the cull facility. What that is, a cull facility is a place, for those of you who haven't watched The Walking Dead World Beyond, the CRM basically has these facilities out in the wild where they draw walkers in to take them out. Because they believe that it's their job to make the world a safer place. We are the light of the world. And so they're doing their best to, rid the world of the wild of walkers so they can expand, do whatever the hell they want. On that note, also, if you have watched Tales of the Walking Dead, in the Amy/Dr. Everett episode, there is a huge trench where apparently called the Dead Zone, which could be an indicator of one of these facilities, let's say. Assuming the CRM are still a thing that far into the future, 35 years in the future. Looks like Mitchell's frozen. But, Mitchell, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. It's just your face was frozen. That's fine. Is Bridget went to the bathroom? Is that what's happening? Magically? No? Anybody know?
No
I
idea.
don't know.
She just disappeared.
Uh,
But,
so-
it's like, yeah, Rick had the same weapon as Silas, too, so it kind of
Yeah. The
made sense.
right, the culling wand, let's say. Okay, so anybody have anything to say about that, though? Specifically.
I mean, it was very interesting. I noticed the I don't know, what did he call it? The head smasher, the head exploder before I noticed the jacket.
Right.
I was
right.
like, that's Silas's cool ass weapon. And then someone pointed the jacket out and I'm like, what? So it was like a double doozy, yeah.
Yeah. Lonnie says the heads in the mud reminded me of the heads in the sand on Fear. Heads in the sand. Oh, in Mexico, right?
Oh.
Actually, it reminded me of.
Or in the last episode of Fear.
Yeah.
The most recent episode of Fear.
Remind us all.
Is that what they're
Oh.
they were buried in the sand.
Season
and then
7,
covered
right.
in,
Because,
with bags.
like,
yeah.
Madison was going to be, like, the victim if she didn't get out of the
Yeah.
sand kind of thing.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It actually
Damn it,
brought
so
me back to
close.
season. I want to say season 3. Season 3 at the prison. Remember the flashback with Philip Blake and his girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote, or Tara's sister, I think it was.
Lily.
Yeah, when the kid
Yeah.
when the kid was playing near the shore and the walkers were
Megan.
buried in the mound. Yeah, whoever they are, I don't know.
408.
And that's kind of what it reminded me of too, because they were kind of buried in the mound and lifted up the sign, and they all and they came out of the
yeah.
thing. And I love how it's frozen on
Uh-huh.
Mitchell's smile, because it's a good smile. I got a little distracted. Sorry, Mitchell. Sorry, not sorry. Oh, so one line's like, oh yeah. Sharondy says, dictionary. Consignee is an agent entrusted with the custody and care of goods being sent. Yeah. So, well, I think he is the goods. So that's. Anyway. No? Okay.
Sorry, I was reading what Eliza just typed out. Is that from? Is that what you heard, or is that from like an official site or something?
What? Oh, it's like he told me.
Eliza's also quoting.
She's quoting the quote.
Also quoting
that we
the.
quoted.
Yeah, but she wrote she. She told you from the articles. It's like she told you.
I don't know. The subtitles say he. We all got
Yeah,
he.
captions on my screen said he.
Unless the articles know
So
something
we've
we
got some
don't.
conflicting. Yeah.
Unless they were rushing to print. What happened to Bridget? Rude.
I feel like
Frozen.
I feel like
Right
AMC
here.
Plus's captions would have to make like the most accurate.
Yeah, I would have thought that too. But they have been wrong before, but not nearly as wrong as people. In the articles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, but I would say it's a he, and if it is a he, it'd probably be Major General Beale too. If I had to take a guess, do any of you have any ideas of who you think it might be? And if it is a she, well, you're thinking Kublek, you're thinking Anne Stokes. Oh, I was about to read Sharondy's thing when you interrupted me. Oh no, wait, no, I did read it. Never mind. I'm stupid. I haven't eaten anything all day. I'm so sorry. It's been a very busy day. Well, let's
Do you have like a stroke or something? Are you okay?
Yeah, if they said she, if that's an accurate quote, and they did in fact say she,
Yeah, let's
I think
explore it.
They're definitely talking about Jadis. It's got to be Jadis.
What in the world? Oh, are you watching an episode, Aiden?
Me?
Yeah.
I was trying to. Sorry, how did you hear that?
Brother, I hear
phone?
everything, and I'll hear it worse
I
in
heard
the,
it
in the
too.
editing.
Okay, well, I was trying to look up and see the captions just to like double check it because I was like, not that I don't trust you, but see, that's not me. It's not me.
Who is
My
that?
phone's not on.
That's not me.
Oh, shit! That
Yeah,
would probably me then.
I hear everything.
God.
I hear your fidgeting.
I'm trying to hear it.
Wait, Bridget,
It's not me.
I don't see anything in your face. Where did you go, first of all, for like the longest time?
My husband came home.
That's
and
personal.
then-
Oh, okay.
yeah, and then I went to the bathroom.
Is it personal?
Weirdo.
We're on a live stream, for goodness sake. Unprofessional. Can you do me a
Just
favor?
Put a cup underneath the desk, like I do.
Yeah. Take care of your business beforehand. Anyway, so turn off your video and turn it back on again. Just want to make sure that it's.
Okay.
And Mitchell, do the same, by the way, if you could.
Yeah, and you see me now?
No, but that's all right. Oh boy. Well, I'm not recording video
weird.
anyway.
I can jump out and come back in.
Sure. Let's do that. Mitchell, do you want to do the same? Because your video is frozen as well.
Oh, I can see Mitchell moving around. That's so strange.
You can?
That's so weird that I can see. Yeah, he's moving around for me. I
But-
can see him.
But from my
so
perspective,
weird.
I can't because I'm the one who's controlling the
Oh, that's
stream.
weird.
So,
No, I know. That's why it's weird. Like,
I
why-
can't see it either, so it's weird that you.
yeah, Mitchell, do you want to leave and just
Right.
leave and re-enter? But just make sure you have the right the array mic set. Oh, and he just did. What a wonderful life we lead. Okay, there you go. I can see now. Mitchell's going to come back. I'm just going to pause his uploads because he's got a billion of them. Everybody want to
Ew,
think
David.
think of what you want to say next with regards to this particular scene, because then once we crush this one, we'll move on, never come back.
We're still talking about the end scene.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we can talk about it now. Just, I mean, go right ahead. Be my guest.
I think the only other thing I wanted to say was what a flipping badass Michonne looks like. Her outfit is fucking fire.
Yeah.
She looked awesome.
I do want to add that the person who did the outfit for Michonne was Yulin Colette Hufke, who was the costume designer for seasons 1 through 6, but then she left and she returned specifically for this episode.
I heard about
and
that.
Woo!
Designer for the Rick and Michonne show.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome. Very exciting.
What was the name again?
Yulin Colette Hufke, and then she switched over. Vera Chow has been doing it for the last string of seasons.
Gotcha.
Do you want to talk about the alternate ending now?
Not just yet.
Okay.
But when you look at her outfit, what does she sort of look like?
Something from Wakanda.
Oh, straight out, yeah, like Blazy just said, straight out of Wakanda.
I think it's definitely got an Asian element to it, like a like a samurai.
Well, by the way, she's kind of making a double entendre, like straight out of Compton, straight out of Wakanda.
Yes.
I got it.
Duh.
But not everybody
we all got it.
knows. Hey, Mitchell.
Duh.
Hey, Mitchell. Try not
Tappy
to
tappy
type.
tap tap tappy tap tap tap.
It's very loud.
Tippity tap tap tap.
So okay, so no, but I was actually more thinking like, and I think Sharon said it as well when we were in the watch party, like more like a shogun or Ronin or like a samurai sort of situation. What? Bridget made a face. What's the face?
I just said that.
What did you say?
Like a
She said
samurai.
samurai.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
She did say that.
And you were like, no. And then you
No,
For hearing everything, you miss a lot.
no. I have to mansplain it to make it real.
stop it.
Oh lordy, don't.
Just
No, just
stop.
no.
I'm sorry. I was
Just-
very distracted. Okay.
My gosh.
There's a lot going on here right now. Okay, so let's go to. Let's talk about the alternate ending because has anyone seen it? First of all, no. Okay, let's move
No.
on.
No. Okay. I saw a picture of it.
From Dwayne Charles, DC Manwiller. Yeah, he
Yeah.
posted it earlier today, actually, too. We actually talked about that for briefly. Was that before we went on or after we went on? No, it was right after we went on because Johnny Five's Alive was there. But then again, we were on Instagram before we were on all the streams because we were trying to set up for the official podcast recording. But we had said that I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what.
We didn't really talk about it. We just mentioned it.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say too, like, because nobody we know has seen it. I proposed that it might be in the DVD or the box set of all the DVDs / Blu-rays, whatever.
I did send an article into the blog thread on our Discord because I wanted to talk about it.
Go for it.
But I did read an article in which it was 2 people from the cast. So I don't know who their sources are or anything, but there were 2 sources, confirmed sources, that had given the kind of vague idea of what the alternate ending was supposed to be. And it was supposed to be, and this is just what
So they actually talked about it.
Yeah, this is just what I read. It was supposed to be RJ and Judith and Gracie and Coco and Herschel. It's all of them. It's all the kids
In
grown.
a time jump?
Yeah, they're grown.
Okay.
And they're in a van and they're heading into Atlanta. The road. You know what I mean? Like the road.
The road
And-
into Atlanta, like
Yeah.
The road.
iconic
The
Rick
road.
Grimes
And,
going into yeah,
And RJ is on the radio.
smoking dope.
And he says the same thing that Rick says.
That'd
like,
be Herschel.
is there anybody out there? This is Rick Grimes. And so it's like, it's the same thing that was said in like the first episode. So it was to mirror that. And they're like theoretically out looking for survivors. That was going to be the original ending. Was that they're trying to help people and they're grown up and that's what they do now.
I see.
Aww.
And
I
then
thought it was
a-
nice.
I'm
a
glad we
radio
didn't get
transfer-
that. Personally.
But I also read like 1, 2, and it's like then like the hello would come through the end, and then they would end the episode kind of like that.
Yeah, like it would be like hello, and then that would be like switch to black.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I thought that was a really cool idea. I liked it. I get why they didn't do it because now it's like you leave it even more open ended if you didn't go that far.
And you're also like setting it up so that these characters live for a very long time. So if they go back to them, you know they're it's the same problem we have with announcing Dead City, Daryl Dixon spinoff, all the other
Yep.
spinoffs,
Yeah.
because you know their fate. And so if you leave it like that, it's a problem if you want to ever go back to it, I think.
Well, I also feel like eventually we will get that spinoff, and they could just use that as the end of their first episode instead, and cast actors they would like to see
Yep.
in those roles for like multiple seasons. Because
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if we didn't get a show about them later down the line.
I wouldn't.
Not like, in the near future, but like eventually.
You know, the trouble with...
Well-
Oh, go ahead.
So, Travis actually said something to me last night that it blew my mind. It blew my mind when we were talking about it. So we're talking about Walking Dead, right? And I'm talking about like all this final episode stuff, and we were talking about reboots and like redoing movies because we were looking through movies, and he was like, "Well, Bridget, you have to think. It's 2022. Walking Dead will be back in like 2030, 2035." And I
Wait,
was like,
you're
"Oh
saying-
God, they redo everything."
Wait. Like a reboot style? Or like...
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, because
Yeah.
they do that with every
Yeah.
shows.
Everything, dude.
Yeah.
They
Nah.
rebooted Charmed. They were slated to reboot Buffy again for
They're-
a third time.
Wait,
Like,
do you think that's
Why?
do you believe that though? Or because I can't imagine that they could do that. It
Why
just doesn't
not?
make
Of course
sense.
they could do it.
It doesn't make
They
any
could.
sense.
Absolutely
They've done it for
do it. 100%.
numeral amount of shows.
They haven't done it
so-
for any
I'm not
show that's
saying-
mattered, like for real. And I'm being specific.
dude,
Charmed
was
does not matter. I
Okay,
watched it and it
okay,
sucks.
Dave. Okay, that was not pop culture's opinion at the time, though.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I'm
it wasn't.
I'm older than you.
No, Charmed was a big deal.
Dude, Charmed
No,
was a
it
big
wasn't.
deal.
Oh
Yes,
my
it
God.
At the time.
Dawson's
at the time
Creek
it
was a big deal. Okay, like there's Charmed. I'm putting my hand
Okay.
really low, and then there's Dawson's Creek, which is everybody was talking about at the time. Okay, now if they
brought back
reboot,
Criminal Minds, you want to talk about that?
And that one's only been done for like 2 years instead, though, too.
Yeah.
So. And it has the
Right.
original cast, though, this time around.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, dude, they did it with 90210,
Mm-hmm. They did
Oh.
with Dynasty, Saved by the Bell.
Dallas.
Yeah.
but
They've redone so many shows.
They're
I'm
not
just
gonna
saying,
Fresh Prince of Bel Air, even, too.
there's something to be said
Yeah.
about like but you know what, The Walking Dead has had, and this is not me fanboying and having a bias. It just doesn't make sense to me, and I'll tell you why. When you have a star-studded director like Frank Darabont behind the original launching of The Walking Dead, when you filmed it in basically cinema style cameras, Panavision, and then you had Kirkman as part of your creative input, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, this is just my opinion. Obviously,
dude,
it just
we're
doesn't make
all
sense.
with you on that. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but Hollywood keeps doing it. So,
Plus,
like,
yeah, and they
I'm
would
just saying, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
they would do it because they would change the story in a certain way because it's supposed to follow the comics, and the show went like way around the comics sometimes.
Well, that
So like the
way.
stories, well, depending, but the remakes are always like the stories are so much different.
Well, I feel like because what sets Walking Dead apart from the other shows that we've mentioned,
is that it matters. I already said that. Okay, go ahead.
The Walking Dead's a universe, though. We have
Yeah.
7 shows, like, so that's why I kind of feel like they wouldn't necessarily reboot it as much as they would like bring back the kids as older, or
Oh
like, I
yeah,
feel like,
that's a continuation. Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
with
like, I feel like instead of like doing a full-on like reboot, like, hey, we're gonna do it just like the comics now.
And that's why they ended how they ended it, because when
Like
the
a
spin-offs are
soft
done, they're just gonna go back to do a main one, but have it like a different name or something.
Yeah, something like
Probably.
that.
It's
that's
like a
probably
soft
why.
reboot.
And that's probably why they ended how
Okay,
they did.
yeah. So there's a difference between just a continuation versus a total reboot because they
I thought you were
they also
saying total
brought
reboot.
back Boy Meets World. They tried to do a
Yeah, brought back.
that '70s show with same characters. just
They
like
did
a
Joni
different
Loves
point in
Chachi,
time.
right? That
Yeah.
was a spinoff of of Happy Days. For those of you wondering, oh, Joni Loves
Walking
Chachi.
Dead, walking harder.
That was Sharondy in the chat. Yeah,
It's it was Joni Loves Chachi.
yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, Agent of Trauma. Don't get me started on Charmed. Don't get me started.
Excuse me. Tahira said that she will have to arm wrestle you, Dave. Because before Walking Dead, she thought there was no show better than Charmed. So there,
What?
take that, Dave.
Oh my God,
Charmed was a big deal.
Takira, you are my Jasmine, and I am your Aladdin, and I can show you the world. Okay?
Oh my
There's
God,
so many better
right.
things.
Call your husband.
You know, okay, I'm gonna use two shows as an example of how, and I don't know, I want to get your feelings on that. Would they reboot Game of Thrones? Reboot. I mean, completely
Yeah.
do it from the beginning all
You're-
the way through.
Going down
20
in
years from now,
flames,
maybe.
David.
I'm not going down in
You're
flames.
losing this fight.
Yes,
you're
Agent of
losing
Trauma
this
said,
fight.
No, let me yell it like Agent of Trauma. No,
Yeah,
I
yell it.
actually love Charmed. Shut up, Dave. Charmed was my life.
I'm not. Hold on. By
Yeah,
the way,
Molly.
I'm not belittling your love for Charmed. I'm not doing that. What I am saying is that in the realm of popular pop culture, no, it just doesn't make sense.
It's wrong.
When it was
It's
stacked
wrong.
against
You can
all
be
these
wrong.
other good shows and the emergence of like the other CW TV shows at the time, like Smallville was all the rage. Everybody was watching Smallville. Everybody's watching Eventually.
I never watched Smallville.
I haven't either, so
I'm also older. I'm also a little older than you.
You're losing. You're losing the fight. I'm sorry.
Okay, here's
sorry.
another example of a
I'm
show.
living for this chat right now. Thank you.
Here's another example though. I had Game of Thrones, and then I had here's another just a kind of opposite.
Oh, Seventh Heaven.
I could see
Oh,
them.
Ouch! Let's stay away from that.
I could see them rebooting X-Files. Why? Because. Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say, Mitchell?
haven't they already done that kind of once or twice already?
They did a
They
continuation.
did. They brought it back. Yeah.
a
It
continuation.
was yep.
But
Limited.
I could see them totally doing that because I think they were trying. Listen, I wasn't a big X-Files fan either. But here's my knowledge. Here's how much
What's wrong with you?
Here's how much I know about the zeitgeist is that I know that it was a beloved, popular pop culture show. But that I know I didn't like. But that doesn't mean that because I don't like it, that hordes and millions of people are still watching it, starting to watch it now. I know that. So Charmed sucks. X-Files is probably great. I wouldn't know. I think it's terrible. Probably like Supernatural.
Oh my god. Okay. Hey.
I'm kidding. I don't know.
So we're here to talk about The Walking Dead's final episode.
Yeah. And we're here to
not
shit
hating
on
not hating on Supernatural.
Okay, let me ask
Sons
let me
of
ask
Anarchy, Mayans.
let me ask
Oh.
the obvious question. I'm gonna ask the obvious. Well, Mines was also as a spinoff.
Yeah.
Mines MC of what was that other show?
Of
Sons of Anarchy. Yeah.
Shameless is kind of like they have a UK as original, and then they made an American remake kind of.
Oh.
So they'll make a British Walking Dead, Dave.
We've
later.
always
Starring Tyler.
we often redo shows from other that are based in other countries. Like was it Broadchurch was brought
Office?
here? Yeah, The Office. Broadchurch was
Office.
brought here to named something else, but with David Tennant too in both series, which was a mindfuck.
That was weird.
I liked it though. I like both. Are you reading Sharondy's thing? You just wait until the camp. I'll wait.
No,
I'll wait.
The ambling deceased.
Oh my
she
god.
said.
The ambling deceased.
Yeah. The perturbed
Oh my god.
Agent of Trauma's like, no, just no.
Oh, I can't.
Uh,
I can't.
No, the big question here is, and before we move on, because we must, is would you watch it?
A reboot?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dude,
100%.
You know I would.
I
You
would just to see
100%.
how different it is.
Even if if it was just a hate watch it.
Exactly.
I wouldn't waste my
I'm-
time.
But,
And
you know, we
Yeah.
might actually like it though.
I might, but I still I'm turning into one of those guys too. Like
I don't know what this
First of all-
podcast is about. I have no idea.
I must say, if I'm old
Gotten
enough
so
to
far
be
off track.
alive to watch it, Aiden, you might have to carry the torch on this one. We might
party.
we might cover it.
What? Yeah, I know. We're so far
Special
off track.
guest, original Squawking Dead
See,
host David.
I'm assuming that everybody else is dead in this scenario and Aiden's still alive. Mitchell, you might join if you're a Survivor Series member. Anyway,
Wow.
I'm assuming Mitchell's alive but has better things to do. Is what I'm
I
saying.
mean, I am younger than Aiden by a little bit, so
It's good enough. I would watch it too, but it's just like it doesn't make sense unless there's a good hook. Like every remake, there must be a good enough hook to justify its existence. Otherwise, you're just fucking. What are you doing? You're just wasting time. Just do something new.
now if they ever do anything with Riverdale again, I'm just gonna be like, the original series already sucks as much that a remake
Okay,
would be
look,
so bad.
don't talk about what they did to my beloved Archie.
What I was gonna say, watch
Okay.
the original. They did it right. Just kidding. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But that was like a full-fledged reboot.
No. All right, this is done. This is done.
No,
what are we
Takira.
talking about from the episode? This
But
is
I
over.
haven't made Takira like
I already
super mad
tried,
about something else
and
that she loves.
I got pummeled.
Oh,
They're like, no,
okay.
we're talking about everything but The Walking Dead. I
We're
tried.
talking
I
about
tried to
nothing.
steer us back.
Oh yeah,
And it
who
failed
is-
horribly.
Who's derailing us now?
Oh, me. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's worthwhile, but anyway.
Yo, Tyler.
Fucking charmed.
Squawking
Yes, Tyler, this is live. Hi, Tyler.
Yes, Tyler, you are a Whisperer tier member. You should be on here right now, bitch.
Yeah, where are you?
Hey,
Get on here.
hey, Adam's on here too on Twitch. Money is the goal. If it's profitable, it'll probably happen. All right.
He's just gonna yell at us and ask us for water.
You know what? You know what the silly thing is? Okay, I haven't. I've told you guys that I'm a libertarian, and if they want to reboot the show. But you know, people are gonna vote with their feet and be like, "Oh, this is terrible." I mean, they might like it. A new generation might like it. Who knows? It's Walking Dead, but they sparkle. I don't know. If it works, it works. See, now you're with me. Because if they are gonna do it, they're gonna do
Oh.
something different, and it's gonna
He's
piss
been
you
drinking
off.
Walmart wine.
Tyler, you
can't-
gotta get on here.
Oh yeah.
Now you gotta get, come on.
All right, so let's take it back to the beginning, everybody. When we see the beginning, I don't want to listen. This is not a recap show, but I want to kind of hit on the title sequence because when it started playing, I was like touching everyone. I was like, "Hey guys, it's orchestral, guys! Oh my God, there's an orchestra!" And they were like hitting certain notes that I was humming in my
He
head.
was, and I was like, "Please stop
true.
talking to me right now."
But I liked the live orchestra that they did with the
I
intro.
was like, "Shh."
It was live too, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a live orchestra that they did.
What great timing!
Though apparently Bear McCreary's wanted to do some mix-ups with the title sequence before, and AMC never let him until just the series finale. So
Yeah, well, they changed it up a little bit, like we were talking about a couple episodes back, 3 or 4, where we were talking
well,
about
they started with
subtle changes.
when they because I know they did the extended version starting with episode 17 because of the extra series regulars, and that's about it. But then the live one too.
Oh, and the overhead shots of Alexandria and such too, which is really great.
They've always changed like every 2 seasons anyway.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they ran away from the original, at least visual sequence, which was kind of
Yeah,
the
season 9
same-ish. Season 9.
They went more like a comic he wrote, is what Angela Kang says.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Definitely.
it looks like. Did anybody see? No, nobody would see it. It looks like we have a new Whisperers tier member who just came
Yeah,
up.
we see it.
Ooh,
It came up in the chat.
yay.
Hey, Connie.
Oh, hey!
Connie.
Let me just see who that.
Tyler, you suck.
Well, say it
What's
out.
that show?
Say it on the thing. Oh, that's Takira. Okay, gotcha.
Is it Takira?
Yes, Takira.
Oh.
Takira, get in here, girl.
Yay. Come on. Connie is me. I am Connie.
Connie is me. I am Connie. Okay.
Come on, Connie. Connie.
Oh, look at that. Good Vibes BXL from Belgium in the Instagram chat says really loves the end, which is opening the beginning of the new spinoff in 2023. So happy. Yay. Okay, so, all right, title sequence, we got that out of the way. I don't know if there's much to say about that, but I did enjoy
In the
it.
Discord, Tyler. Ugh.
There's also we also posted it in Ko-fi and Patreon, the link.
Yeah, like anywhere. Just like click and join.
Yeah.
Dude, come on.
Okay. So let's go back to the beginning. Where do we start? Where would you like to start? Mitchell, you said you had so much to say about this episode.
Oh, I don't even. I mean, I could have exaggerated
it.
by so much, but I had a few things to say, but I don't know.
Why don't we go to Judith? How did it feel for you to see her in so much pain this episode? Are you a Judith fan, actually? Like, in general? Like, some people are fans of certain people, but... Like, why don't we talk about your favorites? Because, I mean, your handle is I found them Rick G. I found them Rick G. Is that right? On Twitter? And he just left.
And
Oh no.
I lost them Rick G. I lost them Mitchell S. What's there to say? All right, so wait, let's go back to you again, Mitchell. What did so your handle is I found them Rick G on Twitter, right?
Yes.
And I would assume that maybe you're a Rick fan necessarily?
Well, I kind of made that because of that, yeah.
Okay. So do your feelings about Rick transfer to Judith a little bit?
I mean, I think so, because, like, she does have, seems to like to have the strength as her father, because, I mean, in the hospital, she's, like, boarding up the stuff while being shot, and Rick has done quite a bit while being shot, too.
And rebar.
And stabbed through the body and the hand and stuff, so, like, she kind of gets it from him, so...
I'm firmly convinced that Rick actually has a hole there, so that when he gets shot, it just goes right through. It does take a little bit out of him, but it's like a piercing. He has a piercing in his abdomen, in the same
Right.
spot.
And I did really like the parallels within the last episode. I mean, they did quite a bit with the last episodes, but with the very last episode, I really liked how much they did with the parallels.
I would say they crammed it in. Adam, actually, on Twitch. Adam, by the way, who is MN Viking Zombie on Twitch. He says the callback to Daryl blocking Judith in the hospital room, like Shane did to Rick, was interesting. I also noticed that as well. Can you guys talk out loud instead of
Right?
chatting to one
It's
another?
like rude that you guys are talking to each other and making it very obvious.
Yeah.
I literally just went, "What is that?" That's all I said.
The typing, that's Mitchell. Who,
Because of all the sound. That's why I was trying not to talk over it, Dave. Jeez.
Critic Piece says Judith should have given Pamela a headbutt to the crotch. You know what?
Can you repeat that sentence?
Judith should have gave. I should say this accurately. Pamela a headbutt to the crotch.
Okay, that's not what I heard. Okay, thank you.
What did you say here?
I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, God.
No, but this way we can clip it out of context and cancel you.
Nope. No.
Oh, God.
Not falling for that one.
What do you guys think about that, though?
Pamela getting headbutted in the crotch.
By Judith, after she said in the episode, "Oh, hey, look, it's Tyler Phillip Cox."
Tyler.
It's a drunkie.
For the first time on the podcast. Yeah.
Time.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the first time we've allowed whispers to be in the episode breakdowns. So,
Oh.
how's your night going?
Good. I went out, had a few drinks.
It's why the
It's,
late.
it's, my,
Feeling
it's been
good.
my first full day off. My first full day off in 13 days.
Wow.
Yikes.
Wow.
So I've got 8 days. 8 days and 8 days again, and then 4 days off.
I have a very important question to ask you then. Did you get a chance to watch The Walking Dead as soon as it aired publicly on television?
As soon as it came on Disney Plus, yeah.
Ah, I see.
I normally stream it on illegal site, or it wasn't put out early. So
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, were you able to actually sort of watch with anybody at the time?
no,
Yeah,
I
that's,
woke
that's
up
what it's-
around 9, around 8, and had work at 10. But I luckily persuaded other staff to let me come in later so I can watch it.
awesome. I'm glad to hear
It
that.
was good. It was a lot better than I expected.
Oh, good.
I did not expect it to end good.
You know, that's actually something that we had brought up several times, starting from the, I think maybe even the beginning of 11C, which was that we had trepidations about the last episode, considering the way it was going. It was moving in at least the first 3 episodes of the third trimester, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm kind of I mean, I never gave you guys my impression though. I some of the articles that were out there had said the Walking Dead series finale was not much of a finale, as it should have been a little bit more final, is what some people said.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And the other question that we asked actually also was that I had asked everybody what I agree with everybody in saying that they could have left out the last part and it would have still been a great episode. But now that we've seen it, I actually think that last scene with Michonne and Rick needed to be there, I think, to give a little bit more fullness to Judith's statement to RJ at the end, which is, you know, we get to start over. We're the ones who live. I don't think it would have had as much impact on us without
I
it.
reckon that's going to be a really popular tattoo now.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's like the great alternative to We Are Not the Walking Dead, which was in the comic books, which Daryl kind of says. We ain't the Walking
He
Dead.
says we ain't the Walking
Of course he fucking steals there.
Yeah, hold on.
Tyler,
But
he
I
lived.
asked,
He lived.
Who else would have
Yeah.
said it?
Who else
Me.
would have said it other than
Me, I was popping in for a cameo. It was like, oh, we're not dead. We're done.
We're the Walking Dead? Bye.
People kept
Yeah,
saying
me
Judith
and-
should say it, and I was
Where's
like,
my
she was a
strawberry
baby
wine?
then.
No, but
I'm pretty
I
sure I was asleep.
wait. Say that again.
That's still alive.
Say that again, Andon. I kind of cut you off. What was that?
I said I'm pretty sure that everyone else that was in that scene is either dead or was asleep. Because it was like what? Rick, Michonne, Glenn, Daryl, and was
Yankee.
Carl there? And I think everyone else was asleep.
In the comic
So-
book. You're saying?
No, in the show.
Oh.
In the
Oh.
barn.
You were
Said
saying
it.
when he said we are
when
the
Rick
Walking
says
Dead.
it.
Yeah, because Tyler
Yeah.
said Daryl stole it, and I'm like, well, no one else was there. So they
Oh.
couldn't have.
Thank you, Agent of Trauma. She just gave us a coffee. She just bought us a coffee.
Oh, thank you.
And now
Wow,
your message
Molly.
will be there
Hey, don't
forever.
worry, man, I'm
forever and
confused.
ever.
Aw.
You're always confused, Tyler. Doesn't make you special.
It does.
Yes, it does. Trust me. That's why we want him on the show right now. But thank you,
Can we
thank you,
only
Agent
have
of Trauma.
6 people in?
Well,
We
we had
can-
2 Mitchell a second ago.
We can have 9.
It's true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just Takira couldn't get it to work. That's what I
Oh.
was-
Oh, were you trying to? Well then. Oh, you have to use a Chrome browser, by the way, or if you have it, Edge. So. Oh, I think Agent of Trauma is a Whispers member now. Is what I was gonna say. So
We're gonna
Right.
have
Aiden,
another.
you
We're
have
gonna
a
have
fan.
another Brit.
yeah,
I have a fan.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So if you are gonna be hopping
Mr.
on,
Espinosa has such beautiful eyes and big hands.
why does so? Okay, we actually talked about that earlier, critic piece. So we might move on from that. But most of the
Big
folks say it's Murder Jacket Rick smile. I said it was kind of like a dual purpose. Happy he was able to get his shit on the boat so that there's a chance, but also like him smiling at the audience. That's
Did you
what
see
I thought.
the?
And I said,
that
game on,
Google-
bitch.
Which is
Yeah.
a little bit of both, sure.
I'm with Aiden.
The guy
That was like a
the guy
bring it
speaking.
on.
The guy that was speaking might have been Gus for Breaking Bad.
that's
Ano-
exactly what I thought. It sounds like that actor.
Mitchell said the
I
same
didn't
thing.
hear it until I think like maybe he retweeted it or something. I was like,
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again.
huh.
Giancarlo
It does a
Esposito.
bit,
Mhm.
just a bit, just a bit.
Yeah, By the way, Adam, yeah, we can definitely Brady Bunch this thing.
Oh yeah.
We can go up to Brady Bunch level. Yeah, apparently. So.
Also, Agent of Trauma Molly is saying that she is the best Brit, so.
Oh.
I think she's right because Tyler's.
Ooh, punches thrown.
Oh no, Dave.
Oh,
I got it.
Dave.
I got it. I got it.
What?
Dave,
What is happening?
we got
Ew.
cam girls again.
That's my burner. I'm sorry.
Ew.
I got it. It's gone. See? Don't get so easily distracted,
Gross.
folks. I'm on the case.
Wasted.
Are
It's like
you?
all I'm doing is watching the chat.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey, man,
so
what did you say, sorry?
I'm just trying to start a fight.
yeah. Hey, Tyler, what do you think of Charmed as a show?
Stop it!
The old
We
one.
just
the old
moved
one.
on.
No, we're good.
We
We're
just
good.
moved on.
We're
I've
good.
never seen it.
No, both of them. There,
No,
there we-
not the new one, Dave. Never the new one.
They both suck. Anyway, I'm actually surprised. Okay, let's go back to Judith and the. I again talking about the parallels. I like that it didn't end up being the same way as Rick and Shane, where Shane toppled a bunch of shit in front of the door so nobody would go into his hospital bed. But at the end of the day, Daryl kind of pulls her out on the cart. I again loving the parallels that are coming up in that they were cramming in the last episode.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at? Fucking talk about it.
69mega.com.
They're
I
back.
get
Tired of being alone.
It
We'll
would be
help
better
you.
if you just ignored it. I got it. Don't worry about it. Jeez Louise.
Dave, that sex bots means you're popular, so.
We've got enough OnlyFans in our stories, so don't worry about it.
my gosh.
I can't hear you.
Squawking Charmed. Thank you.
What would you say, Tyler? Say that again. You're a bit low on our end. Hey, it's Akira. We got 7. This is the most we've ever had on the show. We got 7 people that will be distracted by the chat.
I don't see the chat. I don't know how this thing works. I'm confused.
Well,
Can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you. Okay.
Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Can you hear us?
I
Is the
want you to
question.
know that I'm so excited.
Ooh, I
that
love
you're
your
here
hoodie.
Right now, and I cannot wait to
Thank
meet you
you.
in person because I'm gonna hug you so hard.
Yeah, Akira's gonna be going to the camp.
Sharon, you better get in here quick. Spaces are running out, apparently. Get in here.
We can hold 2 more.
First come, first serves, Randy.
So Agent of Trauma will pop on, and then Charity, and that'll be it.
Critic
Apparently.
Peace is alone and needs help. They want the bots.
Oh. Give him a chance to click on it at least.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
There you go. There's more light. Oh, and then she popped off. I'm kidding.
Oh, and then
Oh,
less
no.
light.
No.
She turns off the light, and
What happened?
I guess the light interferes with her internet. No, there she is.
There we go.
I don't have
Yay.
like this is the first time I've been online for a year.
Well, welcome to the party. The water's fine for now.
The water.
The water.
The water.
Shut up.
I have no
Shut
clue
up.
how to join, so I'll leave it. Agent of Trauma.
To join what? Oh,
Yeah.
so you have to use a Chrome browser, and if you do join, the
I'm on
link,
my iPad.
the link is in our Ko-fi page or our Patreon page.
I download an app.
Yeah, Molly, you should know this by now.
Yeah, you don't have to download the app unless you're on a phone, an iPhone or an Android phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on my iPad.
Oh, there you go. Good for everybody. That's the
Okay.
easiest way. Yep.
So are we gonna talk about the show again?
I've been trying
No.
to.
No.
No, but let's talk about Charmed. How bad really is it, right, Takira?
You know what? You know what? Don't start with my Charmed, okay?
Just stop. Just stop.
Don't start with My Charmed. You can tell how much somebody loves it when they say My Charmed.
My Charmed.
Let's see if I can.
I get the power of 3 on you.
Oh.
Hey,
You know,
did
it's bad when you
Aaron.
actually know what that
Did you
means.
get Aaron on?
Aaron got the invite.
Yeah, we
Probably.
should get him on just so I can kick his feet.
Okay. You know what, Takira? What would you like to talk about next? Fuck all y'all.
Okay.
No,
Are
even
we
even
gonna go like from the end of the episode and then back to the very beginning?
right. Well,
That is kind of what was just happening, actually.
so pressure. Let's bring up okay. Let's talk about Aiden's favorite subject, Rosita.
Not gonna lie, her
Ah.
death was sad. Like, it was pretty sad. I didn't really care about her until probably last season.
You know, there's a reason. You know,
Same
It
with
can't
Carl.
be time to cry already.
what's funny about what you just said was something that we actually said a couple episodes back. Was that like for a little while, Rosita didn't get enough limelight. I don't think, and we only started getting to know her in the last season. Really, like her background.
Pretty much.
Rachel's getting a phone call.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. Now I'm distracted.
Wow, Dave.
But what do you think about that, Aiden? Actually,
About what in particular?
is what I'm saying accurate? Do you think Rosita didn't get enough limelight until the last season? Really?
Sure, but I do want to also add she was very prominent in season 7 and is actually the only character in the first 8 seasons to appear in more episodes than Rick in a single season. And it was her in season 7, fun fact. But yeah, I mean, she's been my favorite character for years. And, you know, I'm happy to finally see her get her due because I feel like especially it kind of felt like it was always the Daryl Carol. Like there's a select group of 5 that was always in front and center. And like a lot of characters like Rosita, Eugene, Gabriel, for a while were pushed to the back.
Right.
Finally started coming back forward.
Gabriel getting a revival.
I agree, 1,000,000%.
Well, so I want to actually turn to Bridget. What did it feel for you to learn? Well, let's talk about the scene, the scene where we all kind of jumped when Rosita fell. Any particular emotions or
It was
feelings or
audible.
thoughts? Yeah,
It was audible
same.
in the room. There was a huge gasp, like a collective, like none of us were okay with what was happening. Honestly, I was so happy that she had picked herself back up and gotten out of it that it was not even on my mind that anything was wrong. And go figure, Eugene's the one person who just knows her so well and can read a situation so well, like in regards to someone that he cares so deeply about, that he was able to pick up on that and know. And that's why he's trying to like fish for that, like, aren't you excited about summer, Rosita? Aren't you excited about the stuff that's upcoming? Isn't this exciting?
He
And
wasn't
she-
as insistent.
I know, but it was just like it was such a clever way to have them reveal that
Right.
that moment, and it emotionally it was incredibly impactful. I was like,
Bless you.
I mean, I was weeping during the show. And Rosita has never been like a favorite character of mine by any means, but I just, to know that she was the type of person that she was and that she could stand up on her own, and like, I always kind of felt like she was going to be fine.
What?
And so for her to all of a sudden not be fine was like, it was a lot.
Like it can get you too, essentially.
Yeah, right? Like the toughest person. And then to know the backstory of it too, when Christian mentioned on Talking Dead about how she requested that her character die before the series end. That was really impactful to hear. So even Christian wasn't ready to like let go of this character, and so the only way that she said she could say goodbye to Rosita was if it was like forever.
Right. Oh,
That was just, I mean, that says something in its own right? Like Christian was so attached to this character and so attached to this role that she didn't want to leave it up in the air.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
She wasn't okay with saying goodbye.
No Rick Grimes
Yeah.
helicopters for her.
Yeah. No. She wanted it to be the end.
It's kind of funny because we had said in one of the last episodes that we had brought up the ex-boyfriend comparison. Like, would you have rather him die so that you wouldn't have to think about him ever again? Or,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
in the context of
right.
The Walking Dead, like, would you want
Yeah.
it to blow up? It kind of on the heels of Adam's comment in the chat. It's I guess I was alone in wanting more death and chaos in the finale. Well, Jasmine was here earlier saying I would have been
Yeah,
happy
I
with
would've
more
been-
deaths.
I would have been happy for like half the cast to die.
Again, with the word happy.
Because like
It would have been joyous. Would have had a spring in my step.
I
If half the
expected
cast
a
was
lot
decimated.
more death. I expected so much more death. Like me and Aiden were like discussing, oh, who's gonna die? Like we thought Diane, like Jerry, Elijah, maybe even
I do want to add though that like
Was
after
Sustic
like
here?
I have talked about it with Tyler, like I do feel like in a way I'm happy that most of them didn't die, because I feel like it ends up going against what the show stands for if we had like so many more deaths, because it's really about building a future and a better world. So if most of them died, and plus if like half the cast died, it would have been a horrible episode because they wouldn't have had time to write all of them meaningfully. So it would have been like lame in a way too.
And I
what
see.
the
I'm sorry. I see Critic P said Rosita's death is so dragged out in the episode that by the actual death scene, all the emotion was already spent. I
felt that about
while
Carl.
while I get what you're saying, while I totally get what you're saying, I don't necessarily agree. And the only reason is because all I could think about during that scene was how peaceful it was, and how nice that was that she got a peaceful death after all the fighting that she's had to do. And on top of that, it reminded me a lot of Bob. Bob got his time to say goodbye and, to tell the people around him that he loved them.
Yeah.
And Rosita got that same luxury. And there was something really special about that.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
I felt like Rosita's death was a better way of doing Carl's death, in my opinion. It didn't last multiple episodes. It had just the right amount of screen time, I think. And to the point I was trying to make earlier was that it gave her a little bit more justice in terms of a character, where we got to know a little bit more about her in the way she reacted to her death, the way she handled it, the way she helped Eugene handle it, how they got a little bit closure between each other, even more. I thought that was kind of sweet. And in previous episodes, it didn't seem like she's very much about Father Gabriel's life, like his spiritual life. And I think it was really, really sweet that he was able to do that for her, and she was okay with that also.
Yeah.
I had weeping
Yes.
at that point. Just
I didn't.
From-
I don't cry at all, really. Probably because I expected it because of the. I know the spoilers, but when the spoilers correct, Aiden.
I mean, so this is the one I want to talk about. Like,
Go for it.
the part, which Rosita being my favorite character in the whole franchise of my favorite franchise, losing her was obviously very difficult. But that being said, months ago, like back in March when I was sitting in class, people just started posting it. They were like,
Posting what?
Oh,
Exactly.
just like that she's dead. They're like, oh yeah, Rosita dies in the finale. I can't believe we're gonna lose her in the finale. And I was just like, what the hell? Like why? So I've known for months.
Based
Like, I didn't
on
know
what, though?
spoilers.
I'm curious.
But I don't know. Like I think there was filming. People saw her fall. So I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I assume it was because the 4-bit was somewhat seen because I saw photos of her on the top of the ambulance like recently.
Yeah, but
I
they were.
wasn't sure how far the spoilers went. Like because only spoiling dead's gone, so I don't think the spoilers have been that precise
Right.
And
in a
even in
while.
recent months, people have been like, I really like Rosita's storyline. It sucks that she's about to die. And I'm like, what? Like, what the hell? Like, so I that really pissed me off because I hate spoilers. And literally everyone was just talking about it so casually. Like, and even though
Yeah,
I've
that's why Twitter's the
muted
worst.
the accounts, it still found its way.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
see.
that's why Twitter for spoilers. That's why I ended up muting. I think I muted The Walking Dead. I muted some certain words just in case.
I actually, it was wasn't it probably around the same time that we're getting the spoilers from the Commonwealth Square, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, Takira again. Hi.
Probably.
The Commonwealth Square.
So they had okay. So I'm remembering this vividly, and I wanted to talk about this in the last few episodes because it gave some things away. So in the Commonwealth Square, basically where they filmed where they were cornered off with all the walkers and the variants and stuff like that. It showed Luke and Jules in the center marching down what looked like a parade.
Oh yeah.
But
I know what you're
so
talking
I wanted to talk about it, but then I thought to myself, okay, that
Oh no.
could be
let's
the
do that.
finale too, and it was. So
Oh yeah.
in which people did predict that they had like a dual reaction. Everybody assumed that Luke would die,
Yeah, and not there because
but not there.
AMC posted Luke on the floor. It looks like he was shot in the head.
Oh God.
'Cause I think you spotted it, didn't you, Aiden?
Yeah, because like, well, I didn't really see it at first, and everyone's like, "Wow, AMC."
No,
really-
neither did I.
Yeah. And
When was this?
It's so when it was just earlier this week when they released the promo pictures. You know when Luke gets bit and Jules gets bit and Luke ends up falling on the ground, hitting his head. That little quick scene.
Yeah.
They posted a picture, and it's really like Carol and Princess like firing their guns, but Luke's literally on the floor in the background. It looks like he's dead. So that was like a thing earlier in the week. Everyone's like, "Well, Luke's gonna die because he's on the floor."
They just didn't know how.
Right. Well, it looks like he was dead in that picture because where his bruise was, it looked like either a knife stab or a gun wound or something.
Right.
So everyone thought he was still there. So
I liked his death. Like for a somewhat of a smaller character, his death was fucking incredible. Like acting wise, was just insane.
Yeah, I loved his last words personally, or like what he was trying to get out.
I wrote in my notes, Angel's acting in that moment, her like weeping, that like sobbing, screaming, weeping thing that Angel Theory did was so like dead on accurate for like a really emotional like cry. It was really impactful, and I noticed it in the first watch, but in the second watch, it came through a little bit stronger to me for some reason. But it was amazing. There was just incredible acting out of everyone in that scene.
Yeah, I only actually watched this
That
finale.
was like,
Oh wait, was that you?
That was Takira.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that
Let's
was
keep track.
definitely the beginning of my tear fest.
Was what Luke Abrams apparently? His
I
passing.
like that they've got last names. Like
I want to get to that at some point.
In a way, we can call Aaron now Aaron Raleigh.
Wait,
All I care about.
did we see his name, Aaron Raleigh? No, right?
Technically, him and Eric are married, so it's a win. It's a big gay win.
All right, all right.
Gay
Like,
win. I love it.
everybody
I'm so
ate big
excited.
gay ice cream and had a big gay win. I understand. Okay, cool. Which is great, by the way. You should try it if it's still around. Pandemic, who knows?
A big gay win. That's it.
No. So I actually wanted to talk about that because I had only watched the episode once. Hello, Agent of Trauma.
was
We're one away from it being the Brady Bunch, so that's good.
Charity said she's charging the Mac a bit, and then she'll be here.
Well, oh, fine. Hey, what's up, Agent of
Hi.
Trauma? Wait, what should we call your first name?
Molly.
Molly. Right, of course I knew that. So, I'm guilty of the sin of actually only watching it for the first time with you guys, and only watching it the second time right before we got on here. But what I did
I've
notice,
watched it once.
yeah. Oh, really? Good for you.
Yeah, I forget. Like I watch the show, I'm like, cool, I'm done. Sometimes,
But I felt the
was
same
tempted
way.
I was so tempted to not watch the last episode because then I have never, I've got that like it's never ended.
That's kind of what I felt too. Like, I didn't want to watch this damn episode again but I had to because we had to do this thing. But no, but in watching it again, what you were talking about, Bridget, with not just Kelly crying, but Magna on the other side of him, crying so hard, snot came out of her nose, like literal snot.
Yep.
Gross, and it's on like Luke's cheek. It falls. And it falls on Dan Fogler's face.
And Dan doesn't like germs.
Oh, Dan's a germaphobe? Well,
Oh, he loved
like-
that.
I don't think he likes touching people.
so that's the thing. That's the thing that kind of...
He's cool though.
So equally to Kelly's sobs, like that for me, it actually kind of got me. Like that, there was that little abandon, and that in some way, I kind of felt that these weren't just the characters; it was also the actors too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's a little forcefulness to the cries.
I don't know if we spoke about it yet, but the only thing I really hated about this half, this quarter, is we didn't see what happened to Oceanside. Like, I wanted, this time with Father, I wanted to see them all get massacred.
Right.
Okay, so I'm pretty convinced within myself that they're all dead.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I was just like, cool, right, we get to see some deaths.
But we don't.
But that's the thing, like, I think I was saying to Aiden, or maybe someone at work, where tell you stuff has happened. It don't show you. It's always like skipped. You know, like when in the variants episode where they're on the roof, and then it cuts to them. All the roof is dead. Oh, cool.
Well, it's kind of like what they did with the
Gravy.
Saviors post season 8. Like, you don't kind of really know what happens, even though some of the Saviors that worked on the show said, "Oh yeah, some of them became whisperers," and like, I'll take it. Fine, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, it's just a bit lazy, but that's my thing. That's the only trope about this part.
Let me give Molly the chance to kind of bring up something that she wants to talk about. Anytime.
I didn't want this spotlight, you know.
Tough.
We've all had it. It's your turn.
Yeah, I made Mitchell feel awkward earlier. I made everybody feel awkward. Charmed was brought up, and everybody hates me now.
Listen, I was very upset about that. I was very upset about that.
Don't get going again.
Sorry. Like, what am I speaking about?
Anything you want, really. Just we're bouncing around the episode because that's how we do it.
Rosita's death, anything.
Okay, I didn't expect to cry as hard as I did during Luke's death, but I think that was purely because, and I think you touched base on that earlier on, with the Connie and Magda and how the emotions rolled into the scene and everything, and like you was talking about how they were crying snot bubbles and that. I was crying snot bubbles over here. And it was just too much. And then it's just like you'd just settle down after one emotion and something else would happen. And that whole Rosita thing where it's like they gave us like, I was sure she was going to die. So when they gave us that hope that she wasn't, I was like, and then can I swear?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, I was like, you fucking bastards. I couldn't believe they did that. That was a bit of a, but I really like the whole, there's a lot of Eugene haters out there, but I think he's absolutely brilliant. And I think he really pulled it out of the bag in the last couple of episodes, and his emotions with Rosita, I was sobbing like a bitch. It was just too much.
Seriously,
and the
though.
composing in that episode as well was bloody brilliant as well. I just couldn't.
The score in the background?
Yeah.
I agree. They really brought it.
Oh, and I expected Donnie to kiss. I know it wasn't canon.
Can we? Okay, I simultaneously hate and yet love that they still continue to play with us. Connie running to Daryl like, actually, what was it? It's the equivalent of Rachel shoving everybody out of the way to say hi to Sharondy, who we didn't think was gonna. I knew, but thought she was gonna be at the viewing party. It was the same thing. Connie was like in the middle of talking to somebody else, and she was like, "Fuck that, Daryl," and then nothing. Nothing.
Good.
Tyler, what?
Tyler, what?
I can't.
No,
Okay.
no, Daryl needs to be single.
Takira needs to say something. Takira needs to say something because we know.
So all of the things that weren't wrapped up, I came to my own conclusion, and my conclusion is that Daryl is now focused on whatever this mission is that Maggie gave him, and he doesn't want to start something with somebody and then immediately leave and go on the road, just like he did with Leah, and he saw how that relationship turned out.
And you know what? Actually, now that you mentioned it, I'm sorry to interrupt, but isn't Maggie saying, "I have a good idea about let's reach out to see what's out there"? Isn't that a weird redux or redo of the end of season 8, where it felt kind of weird, like we're in this weird, dark, smoky room where Maggie's like, let's turn it against Rick. Joe's like, yeah, and then
Jesus
is
is
like, yes.
I'm just gonna smile, even though I'm totally against all of this.
But they made him seem like, yes, let's.
So So
And yet, so this was like kind of a way to redo that and smooth that over, right? Don't look at the chat. I got it. Don't worry about it. And if, I'll take a look at the photos of your sister later. For goodness sake.
What the hell is happening?
what are you
Yeah,
talking?
I don't see the chat. It's good.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
Good. You're in.
I want to see it. Let me go look at it.
Oh, too late. I already took care of it. So no, I thought that was kind of a good redo of that one scene. So but let's going back to the subject of Donnie versus Carol, the everlasting fight that will take us all to hell. You got this. You got a similar thing there too, though. Like, okay, I love you. Okay, I want to say something because in the reaction video, I thought that when they had said that, first of all, everybody, the few Carol, Caryl people in the crowd were like, oh. I thought I had said out loud, shut up. But I didn't. I actually reviewed the tape. And I was apologizing to all my Carol people preemptively.
No.
I know, I understand, Tyler. We all have our opinions.
Don't apologize for the current.
But I'm a nice guy, Tyler. What?
You are nice.
I literally, I apologize to, like, I forget how to pronounce her name. Becky, basically. She's a Carol person, and I was like, I just want to advise you, if you're going to watch the Father Gabriel confession live stream that we did last Sunday, which includes the reaction video, I said, there's a part where I say out loud to the people that were going, oh, to like Daryl and Carol saying, I love you. I said, there's a part that I just want you to be aware of that where I say, shut up. And
Okay.
I apologize in advance. You know, because
But you didn't do it.
I didn't do it though. So
It was all in
Was
your
it
head.
me?
it was literally all in my head.
Oh,
I
was
thought
like,
I
did.
did. I thought I yelled it out because I was yelling all these other things out loud. I was like, "No, not Jules! No!" Luke was.
do that.
Luke was like, I was like, "No, not Luke, no!" And I was like a bro. I was like a bro, but except Bridget remembers me doing it in a very,
It was more
very
than-
alto soprano. No, like
yeah, that's
something like
accurate.
that. Yeah. But no, I thought I said, like, it was like Bugs Bunny, shut up. And then I could have sworn in my head I heard laughter when I said that, but I didn't say it. I didn't say it. It was all in my head. The laughter was in my head too. So
Makes sense. Do you need help?
I might.
He does.
I might. I need girls XYZ. I need the girls. I need photos of their sister. Anyway,
Oh, I thought that was a continuation onto what Tyler said.
no,
So, Can I say something about those I love yous?
you can do that all day.
Did Eugene and Rosita not also say I love you to
Yes,
each
they
other?
did.
And everyone didn't freak out like, oh my god, I told you. No, okay?
Yeah, but
They're
there was
best
something
friends.
between
They
Carol
love
and
each other.
I mean, there was something between Cavill and Davil. I used to be a Caviller. I
used to be one too.
I barely
Never.
thought.
No,
But
no.
But
Never
after
was.
like
This is the one time I'm with Tyler in this.
Carl has better taste than men. I'm sorry.
Carol
she
has
does.
better taste
She
than men.
absolutely does.
Carzekiel should have stayed a thing.
She likes clean men.
I thought we were gonna see them get back together, man.
And A women too.
Well,
That's what I was hoping for at the end when they were like,
Yes.
when Ezekiel's taking the kids. I was like, now Carol, run over there and give him a smooch.
Well, I mean, they
Just
live
give him
in
a
close proximity to each other. They have to work together, so.
Oh,
I got it, Sharon.
I
got
could tag her in again one more time.
I got it.
have you spoke about the
Well,
the connection kind of thing when Pamela was going to kill herself to Carol yet or no?
I was thinking the same thing, but let's wrap up the Connie versus Carol, Donnie versus Carol situation. They left it blank. They left us
left it
exactly
blank.
where they. But you're gonna believe what you're gonna believe, and at the end of the day, they made him asexual again. Because to go back to the point, which was not only did they get the redo from the end of season 8, but they brought Daryl back to what he loved doing with Aaron, and that's outreach. And it was a great return. He was bored. There's still nothing on the frontier or the cowboy. What's out there? Nothing. But this is a brand new adventure, and we know where he's going. Somehow he's going to make it to France. So great. Well, let's talk about that scene. So, turns out we get to the end. Mercer places Pamela under arrest for high crimes against the Commonwealth. There's a lot to talk about here, but let's talk about what you were talking about, and then we'll backtrack a little bit. And that's once she's in cuffs, she goes to the gate and sees Walker Lance, and she feels something. Tyler, what is she feeling in this moment? Because we all speculated that there may have been something there.
A slight thing, like either it was more of a him thing. Like, previous episode, he's like he's touched him, and he's like getting a bit, horny.
Keep going.
Like he wants Pamela. Like, fair enough, mate.
So now, what about Pamela? Now they got to see that scene. We didn't quite get that. You're very low.
No. There could have been something. I don't think they would have been good together. I liked that she was gonna with him.
You muted out there as if you said something dirty. I love that she would hands in the pants thing.
It was interesting that she was gonna kill herself with the Walker Lance, which was interesting because I did expect her to die, not like that, but
it was very Carol in the comics. That's what it reminded me of.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, shot for shot, it looked sort of like the panel that was in the comic book. Sort of.
She looked like
she leaned in similarly.
Yeah, in a way.
Okay. In that scene, so anybody else have anything to say about that? Just the weird longing.
I'm sure if Pamela was going to do that, I'm sure she was probably having her hand reach for his pocket before she got bit.
Where is Rachel, by the way?
Oh my god! Mitchell came out swinging.
I'm right here.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure if Pamela was going to do that, I'm sure she was probably having her hand reach for his pocket before she got bit.
Oh wait, we're hearing Mitchell again for some reason.
Mitchell came out swinging.
I'm right here.
Sharon, is that you?
Yeah, I'm here.
No, but who's playing the video over again?
I had it playing. I just turned it off.
Okay. So, now that we have 9 people on here, which is the max. Sorry, everybody else. My bad. What did you think? Okay, so other than... Does anybody have anything else
I'm
to say?
about to free up a spot in just a little bit. I got called into work. That's why you don't see me right now.
Okay, that explains a lot. Okay.
I was worried when I saw you emphatically talking on the phone.
So then, Rachel, why don't we go to you on this one? What do you think about their decision not to kill off Pamela in this instance?
Ooh. I think it's very indicative of what Rick wanted to do originally, right? I mean, he kept Negan alive for a reason. Sorry, I had my mirror in front of my face.
We don't even see you.
Rick wanted to... That's because I look like a clown right now.
Anyway.
I'm turning into Mad Catter, so...
Gotcha.
That's what that's what Rick always wanted, right? For people to see justice,
right?
Not death, but actually pay for their crimes. So it doesn't matter how much I wanted Pamela dead. I think they made the right decision to imprison her instead.
Yeah. Does anybody feel differently though? Because everybody and their mother wanted Pamela dead.
I did not. I wanted her to live.
I did want her to die, but
what purpose does she serve now?
She can be an example.
Point counterpoint.
Example of who not to be.
Well, but so in what way were you saying that? In what context? Was it she should die or she shouldn't die?
Yeah, bitch. It was called Rest in Peace for a reason.
Rest in pieces. It should have said.
Right. But I mean, even Negan saying that prison is the fate is worth in that, because he would know, because he was trapped for 8 years in jail for his stuff that he's done.
Wasn't enough time. Life should have never lifetime.
Well, you guys know me. I'm a softie. So
you are.
I'm all about doing the right thing, and I think that was the right thing.
No.
Adam says in the chat, I wanted a bigger finale punch. It was a bit of a letdown. Felt a lot like just another episode rather than the last one. But Charity, were you about to say something?
I was gonna say I think it would have been poetic in their personal story had Lance bitten Pamela at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like not circular for our ongoing story, but for their personal story. I think it would have been appropriate.
Right. Their own personal story. Right, is what you're saying.
Right.
Oh yeah, nah, whatever. Yes, I'm fine with it because it also gave the Negan Maggie thing a little bit more of a circle. Doing what they did, allowing what they allowed to. Yeah, just like Rachel said, essentially.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, but
guess
if
now-
they wrapped up their storyline, then why are they unpicking it again for Dead City?
I couldn't make that out though. Say that again, Molly.
Oh, sorry. I like the way that they wrapped it up, like you said, with Negan and Maggie, but what's the point in dragging out Dead City now? No one asked for it.
Oh, okay, now we're gonna talk about that because, by the way,
it's gonna be shit.
To give that a little bit more context, by the way, okay. TW. So there's a couple things that happened throughout this week. One of those things was TW Universe News, which was recycling something that was said basically a year ago, saying and passing it off as fact now. Now, another account called Dead City AMC on Twitter retweeted that. Everybody glommed onto it, thought it was like the official Dead City account, or like it was legit, seemed legit enough for people to say, oh, that's the fucking plot, because they retweeted something TW Universe News tweeted that was old news from last year that obviously makes no sense given the end of this episode. So now that we got that out of the way, what that news was, quote unquote, from last year, was that, Maggie's still pissed off about Negan, and Negan is all whatever, and Neganing, and that's Dead City, everybody. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense with the end of this episode. Doesn't at all. And people were freaking out about it, and we're saying, oh, what do we need Dead City for? Well, that's a good question. What do we need Dead City for? Do we want Dead City?
No,
We don't need it, technically.
their scenes
because,
are dry. The only best scene they had was their ending.
I mean, look,
We don't need
I just want to say that it's alluded to because Maggie does ask Negan if he's coming.
Boom. But that's just Sharon making a hashtag hate bang joke.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, I'll still watch Dead City because it's TWD content and I like to suffer, so...
So
I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
And I'm gonna
I
hate watch
love
the Daryl show.
everything The Walking Dead, and I know from Jeffrey Dean Morgan and from Lauren that it's a few years into the future. So
Yeah.
there's no telling what the storyline could be about.
maybe not, though. I don't know how far in the future it might even be. This is like one of those bits of news that was regurgitated without really knowing.
Well, right. Because
No,
we don't
I
know...
saw like
Well, they said it on
actual
Talking Dead.
interview
Oh, really?
with Lauren. Yeah.
On that note, Walani says in the chat, where is Annie in Dead City? But I have a bigger question. Where is Annie in this episode? And if we did go to the future a year later, in the fountain, where Zeke has this awesome speech with Lieutenant Governor Mike Mercer, the only thing I thought was okay, there's a letter with the compass, which is really cool, nice little return where she gives the compass back to Judith. You get that. You don't get anything of Negan there. You don't get to see an older Annie, yes, but like we got to see all the other kids being born, like Rosie. We didn't get to see Annie's kid being born, if the kid was born at all. So,
Well, I know they said with Medina's filming
schedule.
like they had, for her filming schedule, they just didn't have. She didn't have time to do it. But Angela King's like, their plan was, she would always survive. So right now, even though we don't know her fate, she's technically alive.
Perfect. That's basically all I wanted to know. How does that make you feel,
She
though?
was actually saying that, there was a script written out for Annie to have scenes, but they had to cut it because of the time constraints.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for the last episode, I thought maybe they would have gone a little bit more all out. Like, it's just like, who cares about constraints? It's The Walking Dead.
Right.
This is the show that not effectively launched AMC, but it pretty much was like the afterburner rockets that launched it into the stratosphere. I mean, obviously there was Mad Men and Breaking Bad, but then Breaking Bad was around the same time as Walking Dead anyway. So, what the deal, yo? Give us more time with our peeps.
And
But go ahead, Michonne.
it's like, yeah, we don't know what Dead City because they're just both of them in a random city doing who knows what.
Excuse me, random city? Is Toronto?
That's not the best city in America, Dave.
Toronto is a random city. Let's be honest.
This is the center of the fucking universe, and don't you forget it.
Wrong.
But also, Daryl just miraculously just
New York
poofing
is
out of
Padre.
nowhere and just showing up in France makes no sense anyway. But there's also underground nightclubs, which means they, zombie strippers because, people have that kink.
Gonna get horny.
We're gonna get howdy.
Negan was raiding walkers in season 10, so
apparently, quote unquote, right.
So the zombie strippers can be a thing in this Daryl spinoff.
I just wanted to say Brandon was right when he sees the zombie strippers.
The thing is, like, anybody could have a zombie stripper. It's not like it's an exotic thing, I mean,
right?
You just go catch one. And how does it? Is it a special variant that we haven't seen yet?
Maybe
Stripper
they've trained they've trained the walker to be a stripper for them.
Kind of makes sense. Every time I walk through the
and
door,
I'm sure Daryl would thoroughly enjoy that.
Does the zombie strip the clothes off the girls like they put the girls just within reach so they can just hook the clothes and just.
Literally, when they first announced Underground Strip Club and I read that, I was like, zombie strippers instantly. And then I had a whole thing in my group chat about that.
Adam says, climb the pole.
Daryl can join them.
Rosita, climb the pole. Eugene, you first.
But like,
Okay,
Father Gabriel, you're in the middle, obviously.
I thought of something I want to talk about.
I think Rosita did climb the pole.
How many?
Many poles.
I lost
Many
count.
poles.
Good for her. I'm always.
Wait, I thought of something I want to talk about, guys.
How many? Go ahead.
Daryl blockading Judith in the room like Rick.
Oh yeah, we did touch on that, but go ahead. Let's see if you can add anything else to what little we talked about it. Really.
When I was having
I'm gonna
technical
go. I'm gonna get ready
difficulties.
for bed. I'll go work in the morning.
Okay. Well, Tyler, thank you for joining us. Maybe we'll do something like this again some other time.
Bye,
I love
Tyler.
you.
Bye.
Love you, Tyler.
Bye, Tyler.
Watch the episode
Bye.
again.
See, we all said I love you to Tyler, and
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't want that on the public airwaves.
Well, you're not looking at my pants. Yeah, right, Aiden? Jesus Louises. One-touch swords? Anyway, go ahead. Takira, let's talk about a child now.
Sorry, you guys probably talked about it when I was having technical difficulties.
Yes, that's true.
But it made me cry all over.
Really?
over again.
Oh, see, this is good.
Yes.
So what about it? What about it made you cry? Just the coming back to the beginning kind of sort of situation?
Just yes, coming all the way back to the beginning, and the whole, we all know Shane is her dad thing, but to me it just really solidifies like Rick is her dad. You know what I mean?
What about Daryl though? Does he chop liver?
Daryl's the uncle though.
Oh, Daryl's uncle.
You're all wrong.
Daryl.
Oh, Rachel with the biological shit. Matt,
What adoptive uncle?
I'm sorry,
Daryl is.
I referred to her wrong or incorrectly. MC Mad Catter in the house.
yeah.
Audio podcast will not be able to see this, but Rachel's fully decked out, and it's glorious.
Green and pink.
I think
Stevelina.
biology only matters up to a certain point. Like, Judith is badass, and I'm sure that is Shane's biology, because clearly it's not Lori's.
I'm exiting this conversation. I'm kidding.
Yes, yes.
But
It's
Cheers
so weird
to
how
that.
biology applies except for Lori. Just to Rachel's eyes. You know, but
I mean,
Michonne.
okay, I guess they made her look like Lori.
Yeah,
But the nurturing,
that'd be something.
the nurturing of Rick and Michonne to me is what shaped the Judith that we know and love.
We even got to see a little of Daryl in Judith too, though, which is interesting.
Yeah.
You know, the secluded spot conversation in Father Gabriel's rectory or something like that. I said rectory. Sharon.
Sure.
Plus the little
like,
ass
why you
kicker
blame
and the big ass kicker thing.
Didn't say anything.
Oh yeah.
But okay, does Judith even know about Shane though? Because I know she's like, I didn't get to meet my mom, or I never got to meet.
Who's gonna tell her that?
I know.
Hey,
Hey,
This
Maggie.
person, I know,
Maggie,
but
Carol, and Daryl.
because she's like, I
Maggie-
never got to know my mother, Lori, and then she's like, my mom is Shone and my dad, Rick. So
Dude,
she's like, she
because
doesn't.
Rick-
Yeah.
What is Rick gonna?
Well, I'm
what,
sure
we're
they
gonna be
did
like,
not tell her that Shane is her dad. Hey, this guy that was banging your mom while you thought your dad was dead.
And tried
Yeah.
to
Is
murder
really
your
your dad?
Because obviously she knows
Like-
who her biological mother is.
Tried to murder your dad and rape your mom. In case anyone
Me
forgot
and
about
my-
that.
Me
Right.
and my husband
Touche.
have tried to like really narrow it down because I started watching the series, of course, from the beginning.
Of course.
And we're like, okay, so season 1 was like a week. And then season 2 was like a month long, but at the beginning of season 2, she was asking for pregnancy tests. So I don't know why anybody ever thought that that could have possibly been Rick's kid.
I don't know. Nobody's saying that, I don't think.
Right? Thank you.
But, you know, Judith is Rick's kid,
Do the
so
math.
there you go.
People,
Bye.
do the math.
It's not,
Also,
it's
okay.
not about biology. It's about found family. Or,
It's science.
which,
science.
by the way, like, okay, I mean, whatever. Who cares? Let's move on.
Okay, so with the length of the series finale, which is an hour and 7 minutes, the length of the series premiere was also an hour and 7 minutes.
Oh,
So I think they also wanted to kind of end it how it started with the same length.
Oh, wow. Down to the minute?
Well, an hour and 7. The seconds aren't the same, but you know,
Oh,
you can
yeah.
only get so close.
But if we find the difference, it might have a significance. No, who cares? Let's keep going. That's usually my MO. It's like, oh, 7 seconds means. Ooh,
The difference in seconds is how many spin-offs are coming.
Yeah, that means there's like 20,000 spin-offs.
Oh my gosh. You guys, I hate to do this. I can't believe I have to miss out on the rest of this,
the
but
last episode.
my other brother who was supposed to work tonight, something happened and he ended up in the ER, and so I have to go in and cover for him.
Hence
That was
the
the
phone
phone call
call.
I got earlier.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
is he okay?
yeah, they released him. So whatever it was, he's okay now. He just needs to go home and rest. He, I don't know, lost consciousness and hit his head and got a concussion, and now he's at home resting. So he can't really be on stage under the bright flashing lights tonight.
Oh,
so I
God.
told him I'd cover for him. So, which means I have to miss out on the rest of this.
That's a good segue, actually. But yes, I'm sorry to hear that. And it's good to meet MC Mad Catter for a couple seconds.
Yeah,
Well, we love you.
I guess.
And you take care of yourself and have fun. Whatever, we're still going to be here. He's got a lot of Squawking Dead to go.
You might still be recording when I get done with work, so
No,
I'll
no,
check
no.
in with you.
Just like you, I was supposed to have dinner plans also. So I need to finish this by max a half hour. But have fun,
All right.
and we'll be here when
Love
you
you
get
guys.
Love you.
Bye. We love
It
you.
was so nice meeting all the new people tonight, Molly. It's Kira.
back. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. It was awesome having you guys here. Thanks so much for being here.
You look
I just love hearing.
I love you, Rachel.
I love new people.
I love
Love you.
you. Who are you, Althea? I like new people. Bye.
I do like new people. Bye.
Bye. Okay, there's
More
Rachel.
stories from my
Speaking-
thirsty camera.
Right. Speaking of spin-offs, I think we'll get probably a Rosita in Heaven spin-off, and she'll be with Abraham again.
Oh my god. What is that?
Oh, Mitchell. And Charmed will have a 3 boot. Anyway,
Shut up.
Rich is not happy about that at all. So talk about concussions. What was notable about this episode was Daryl's black eye at the beginning.
God, that thing looks so gross.
And it was real, actually. It was a real black eye from filming the finale way back in March. And what's interesting about that is nobody still knows where that came from. I want to think, and this allows me to talk about something else at the same time so we can save some time. I think that when Greg Nicotero, because he was the zombie at the end while Daryl's riding away, I think Greg turned around a little too fast and knocked him off his bike. That's what I think. I'd like to think it was Nick and Norman, having a last hurrah.
And they kind of incorporated in the show. But at the beginning, there's no black guy, and then after he gets smacked with that, like by the trooper off camera,
assumingly,
the black guy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how they did it in the show.
So but the reason why they won't say what the accident was is because it was that lame. It was so lame. They can't talk about it.
They've just said it happened during filming. That's
yeah,
it. They
exactly.
have not said anything else.
And that was back in March, by the way.
Yes, because he didn't come to Pandemic.
Exactly.
No.
I was so disappointed
because of it.
Why that?
Okay, so they finished filming March 30th of this year. The Rick stuff they didn't film the Rick stuff until August 11th of this year.
Right. Well,
so they had months in between.
And they've been developing they've been developing what Rick's comeback would look like for the better part of 2 years, I want to say?
Several years.
Yeah, 3 years, that's right. Right.
Well, yeah, because Denai said with all of them working together, it's been about 1.5 years for the spinoff.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I guess when it came down to it, they wanted to figure out a good jumping off point to go into the series.
And I think how they put it in the show was a good way to introduce the spinoff.
I agree. And furthermore, what I actually liked about... Well, I wanted to add something to that, too. When we were covering the New York San Diego Comic-Con news back in... Was it June or July? July? Right? So... I feel like a lot of the development for the Rick and Michonne spinoff took a long time, probably also because of contract negotiations. This is one of the reasons why Denai left the show, and it's probably another reason why, if Andy Lincoln is going to be coming back to the series, it's got to be worth his while, because it does take a lot out of him. He does put a hell of a lot of himself into the role. And you know what? Having him back on screen, you can see why. It really does show, even from the intonation of his voice, how much work he puts into this character. He believes in it. He commits to this character and this universe to the point where, I remember when we were interviewing James Chen, who played Cal on the show, back in New York Comic Con of 2019, I think it was, and he had said. When he greeted him in his Rick Grimes accent, not with his British accent. So it just gives you a window into what it must have taken to actually get him on board, first of all, because it's a lot, and it does explain why also Melissa McBride wanted to take a break too. The thing that I'm most interested, what fascinates me, and I thought about this even before we watched the finale on Sunday, was Daryl. Norman Reedus. With the amount of times he's gotten hurt on the show, and badly. And seeing that Andy walk off and Melissa kind of say, hey, not for me. That's the story. We're sticking to it. It surprises me that he's still on board for all this stuff. He's just so into it. Have you guys thought about this? Where everybody, after 12 plus years, where everybody else is peeling off, he's still into it. He's still invested. He still wants to do this. And even at the risk of being pigeonholed as Daryl forever, essentially, because he could be, right? This could be his swan song. He might never go back into acting again. Do you guys have anything to add to that too, Mitchell?
Well, I don't know. I think with him being so invested, I think it's a good thing that he's still wanting to do it.
For us.
I mean, yeah, obviously for us, but like I think because I know, with Mel not wanting to do the spin-off is apparently she was gonna retire before she got the role as Carol, and she didn't expect it to last this long. So then, I think when they announced the spin-off, she was on board with it then, and then when they announced it was going to be in Europe, then she's like, well, no.
Oh, fuck that
don't-
cesspool. I'm just kidding.
Like, I don't want to move that far. Plus, like, she has like a sick father apparently too.
I did not know that.
So, and plus she was originally going to retire. So I think this is just kind of her time that she's just gonna take her break now, and
Yeah,
just
she-
be done with acting.
She said that she wanted to come back to the character. She had every intention of coming back to the character, which is why, Carol's left alive, and they did that new. Obviously, they did that like reshoot scene where she says, "I wish I was going with you," because I
Right.
think initially they were going together, right? So,
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder what that
think-
scene would look like before.
And because they
Can't wait
ended
to
it,
go.
and because they ended it, they could just do like a reunion, kind of a revival series of it with like after the spin-offs are done, depending on the fate of characters, whatever happens. Then Melissa might want to come back then for that.
Well, I mean,
She just might not. She just might
even
not
come
do.
back in like a year or two. I mean, we don't know, how long she wants this break to be. I think it's really easy when you're working, and you guys know this, like just from like an everyday job or like going to school, right? Like you can't wait to graduate college or whatever, and then you get done and you kind of miss it. And it's because you put so much. You're shaking your head. No, but I swear, Aiden, it's gonna happen. You get done and you think like, well, that was such a big chunk of my life, and I was doing so much for so long, and it's just easy to miss it then when you're gone. It's the same thing with jobs I've had. Even if they were jobs that I didn't love, when I leave and I don't get to see those people anymore, and you just kind of start to miss it, right? It's human nature. We kind of create this like fantasy so that our memories are good instead of like all horrible.
Oh yeah, it's the same as like leaving like an ex-boyfriend, like amicably, by the way. Sorry. I don't know if you guys have ever had that, but it's easy to focus on the negatives, but if you've ever left a relationship amicably, you tend to try to remember the good things because like, oh, that was kind of okay. That was good. I remember this good moment. You can always refer back to it. I mean,
Well,
sorry
Rachel
if you
and
haven't.
I talk, when Rachel and I are rewatching, we talk all the time about how physically exhausting filming the show has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, number one, you're in the Georgia heat, which, as you guys know, can be extreme.
Some of you know.
And
it's brutal.
You're running, all the running up the street, running down the street, running at the zombies. And then all of the physicality of the blocking, the fighting, and rehearsing. And I imagine it gets to be just like, my gosh, I just want to be done with this. So I can understand the actors that want to leave and take a break from it, because it is probably just thoroughly exhausting.
Well, and not to mention that, like, okay, on a career front thing, it's kind of like what I was saying with Norman Reedus. It's like, you realize and I think even Lauren Cohan and Denai Guerrera, obviously Denai Guerrera, because she went on to become Okoye from from Black Panther. Sorry. Like, she didn't want to be typecast. Neither did most people on the show. I don't know about Andy Lincoln, but that's what makes it surprising that Norman still wants to stay on. And Lauren Cohan obviously went on to try to do Whiskey Cavalier and a bunch of other things too. Right, and she tried, and I never dissed her trying. I never dissed her leaving the show, really. I didn't at all. It doesn't change the fact that when she comes back, it's a whole other story. Like, okay, they got to make it make sense, right? Anyway.
Well, because I know Nolan probably, because I think he loves the character so much that he probably doesn't care if that's what he's known for the rest of his life, because he's done so many other stuff before and during the whole time that he's probably like, I'm going to keep doing this as long as AMC will let me, kind of thing, then I'll do that because I really enjoy the character, and obviously people do enough that they're gonna know me as Daryl.
Right.
I was gonna
So.
say, like, he's bounced around a bit. He's had cameos on shows.
Yeah.
He had
Mhm.
his movies that were popular. So I don't think he should be afraid of being typecast because, like, I was like, oh, that's the guy that was on Blade Trinity. That's the guy that was on
When
Charmed.
was that? Was like 25 years ago.
Yes,
Was he on
he was
Charmed?
That
on
was the
Charmed.
guy
Yes,
that
he
was on
was.
Charmed.
That almost ended his career. Ugh.
Yeah, he was on time. He was.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you for laughing.
But I feel like if he feels like he's gonna go down in infamy as Daryl Dixon, he doesn't mind because he has done so many other things.
Well, it just shows the kind of person he is too. Like it. Why would I not? Why would I hate being typecast as Daryl Dixon? Why?
Right.
I'm very
Plus,
proud
if he
of this
didn't,
role.
and if he didn't want, he wouldn't have done the spinoff. If that was the case.
By the way, hey, official Dirt Gang. Dirt. By the way, official Dirt Gang is the dude we met on the Ghost Tour, Bridget. He was when I took the photo
Wait.
of. He's in Instagram right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, dude.
Sorry about that. Sorry to interrupt all that.
I
by
was
the way.
like, wait, is this the waiter from that night or the guy on the tour?
The guy on the tour with us. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Molly also says that her iPad died and that she hopes that we have brilliant nights and that thank you for having me come.
I was gonna mention that. Yeah. Thank you for coming on, Molly, and sorry that your iPad died. And it's really late for her too, just like it was for Tyler and Jasmine earlier. If you missed them, you can watch that again.
I don't know if you guys remember, but seasons like 3, 4, 5, 6, there were a lot of stars and musicians and whoever like, oh, can I do a cameo on The Walking Dead? Like, I know it's brutal, but I also think that they really enjoy being there and being around each other, and anybody that comes in new always has nothing but great things to say.
Speaking of cameos, do you know who was in the background?
Chandler
On this
Riggs
final-
Chandler
Oh
Riggs.
yeah, Chandler Riggs.
at the hilltop,
It
basically.
is very hard to notice, but yeah, you can
You
tell.
really can't. He's kind of
That's
blurry
awesome,
too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I was right. He was
Yeah,
on
they-
set that last day.
He stayed in the
Yeah,
house.
they
I
said he
did
was.
say that.
They
but-
said he was just there. Like, he was just there. They didn't plan it or anything. He was just there, and they were like, "Hey, you want to go get in the shot?" They like that was his street clothes he was wearing, and it wasn't.
they just put a hat
like,
on him.
Even a costume or anything.
Yeah, he was
they
just
put a
there
hat
to.
on him.
Yeah, he was there to say hi to everybody, and then Angela's like, "Oh well, since you're here, do you just want to have like a random extra background character thing?"
That's so funny to think.
Yeah.
Well, so Lori was right. He was going to beat this world. He like literally beat dying, and they put him, it was Carl.
Was resurrected as a random extra.
You know, and to the point of that scene though, like it was kind of funny seeing Lydia, knowing that Lydia and he were at the hilltop together, essentially.
Ooh, yeah.
I was kind of hoping I would see that. Hello. I didn't see her because it wasn't in the frame for me. Okay, so hold on a second. Okay, so I actually, on that note, I kind of wanted to talk about. There was one kind of funny little moment. Father Gabriel's going to the gate of the Commonwealth Estates, right? And I didn't notice this the first time, but it had to be him because he took a lot of shit. Seth took a lot of shit for leaving Negan's gate open so that he could escape the first time. And so I thought it was kind of funny that he was opening the gate for all the people of the Commonwealth, or he was trying to. I felt like the show was kind of like trying to say, stop giving Seth so much shit for leaving the gate open.
He also left the gate open in Alexandria the night that they had the meeting, and the Walker got in, and Rick killed it and brought it to the meeting. So that was also.
He really still wants everyone to be dead.
Well, also,
That
like,
was actually
He has the problem with doors. Is it like a psychological thing because all of his parishioners died because he locked
the
doors,
gate?
so now he has
Yes.
a thing against.
yes.
Now he has a
came
thing against
full
locking the
circle.
gate.
And now he opened it for these parishioners too, which were, I mean,
Came
some of
full
those,
circle.
yeah, some of these people were his parishioners too, but they all
they
went to
had-
Father Grant in the end, by the way. So that's
Yeah. And then they, well, I mean, yeah.
And
They had
and
a great,
then they all burned.
well,
which-
yeah, they had a great
They all burned to
explosion.
this.
Which would have been the most expensive thing on their budget to do that.
Wow, which was amazing, by the way.
It was.
Think of the.
Yes.
I mean,
Okay, but so I just wanted to know, are like all the people that live in the estate still there when they blow it up, or did they evacuate like the rich people out? Or did they just be like, no, we're just gonna blow these fucking rich people up?
Well, I don't think they
We're gonna
blew.
start over with. Well, I'm like, did they evacuate the estates
They
before
must
they
have.
blew it up, or they just
I
blew it the fuck up?
Feel
were.
like they
They were.
grabbed the residents before they left.
Yeah, because there's all those residents that poured into. So.
All of a sudden, the song switches to "Eat the Rich" again.
More like.
But with Pamela being like, "Well,
eviscerate
you
the
have so
rich.
much to figure out," and being like, "This, then who gets the nicer house?" And then Carol's like, "Well, at least we don't have to worry about who gets your house because it blew up," kind of thing. And I was like, "Oh shit, that was a burn." And I was like, "Oh, that was
Sick
literally a burn," because her house literally burned. So when Carol said that, I was like, "Oh, that's a burn," and I was like, "Oh, that really was a burn."
Her house was ground zero, right?
Yeah, I would have to say so.
Sebastian is very upset about all the cash that burned in there.
Oh, speaking of, you know what was really cool? When they were showing the turntable just before it was about to go, or I don't know, well, whatever, one of the turntable shots, you got to see a lung. You got to see a young Lila Robbins and a
picture
young
frame.
Teo Rapp Olsen in some of the
Yeah.
picture frames. Two of them
Yeah.
at least.
You could tell that it was Pamela's house that they had it over in too.
Well, also, like, they had the picture of her and her father, which is executive producer Tom Luce, which they released behind the scenes too.
Whoa!
See it better.
What was that? I'm deaf. How? What?
If they blew up all the nice houses, what nice house were they eating together at the
They
end?
probably just had one of the random houses that were not in the gated community.
Somebody said it was Yumiko's house.
I was gonna say it's either one of those houses or it could have been in Alexandria too. They did kind of look like the inside of one of the Alexandrian houses because, luck upon luck, we when Bridget and I and Rachel were down in Sonoy, they were actually showing open houses of a few of the houses in Alexandria. What was Alexandria? And I actually took some video of Rick's house. That I'll be showing at some point. It's a 7-minute long video of basically I was doing like an HGTV. Here's every single room and what's in it.
MTV cribs.
We're like on the street, like Dave, hurry up, because the realtor was walking through. We're like,
Like children, they're gonna catch us. Like, no, this is an open house, you turds.
But also, like, you notice how they had like 4 pieces of the wall laying down beside one of the houses?
yeah.
Well, apparently, because when I did the Georgia tour, she's like, these are like the last 4 pieces besides the Outpost 22 left
Of sheet
But
of
then-
the wall, right.
of the wall, yeah. And then apparently was a thing saying that there was like a whole shipment of more walls coming, so people are speculating that they're putting it back up for the Rick and Michonne thing when they return home, kind of thing.
Oh.
Interesting.
Can I throw out a different theory?
Good, please do. This is the first time hearing of this.
Morgan wants to visit
Oh,
his
that
people.
they could do that too.
But is the shipment going to the same place, or is it going to somewhere else?
I don't know. I think someone said it was like going to like
This
the
community.
Alexandria area. So
Well,
apparently people started rushing down to see.
Well, let's go back to the scene though in question though. I mean, because this is great. This is an interesting speculative rumor, if it were to be true, and they do something with that. But what I really liked most about that scene was it was Glenn's giving. It was Glenn's Thanksgiving, and it was around Thanksgiving, and I call it Glenn's giving because it showed the vision Glenn had. Was it Glenn? No, Negan actually tried to depict during the lineup scene. They were flashing to this idea of Glenn and Maggie and little Herschel around the table, having their supper outdoors. Or whatever.
Abraham.
Right, Abraham too. Right, exactly.
Oh.
And in the end, they ended up getting it, and I thought there was something very sweet about that. And Rosita
They
making the end. Okay, Aiden.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rosita getting one last happy moment before she gone. But when they started playing Landslide, I was like, holy, don't, like, that song is, like, sad. So I was, like, tearing up a little when they started doing that. I was like, no. Don't do that to me.
Have you guys had moments like that in your life though, where you take like a mental picture of like, this is really good.
Yeah.
Even that, like, because I have like a distinct memory of like at my dad's wake, like being so sad, right? Because my dad had passed and it was really sudden. And we spent like a long time not talking, so it was like a really big deal that I was even around when he did pass. And I remember like looking across the room and seeing all of these people that loved him there, and I just took like this mental picture, and it's like it's still in there. And so like that's all I could think of when I like saw this, like her watching and like looking around the room was like, even though it was like draped in sadness, just this moment of these are all the people I love.
What a way to go. I had
It's just beautiful.
I had a micro moment like that while we were at Anthony's That's My Viewing Party, and that was when they started taking photos in the bleachers, like with all the signs. I had like this weird moment, like here we're in this time period right now, and I'm looking into the bleachers of all these people who gathered together to watch the last episode, knowing that like for the reason why we started this podcast is because everybody around us was peeling off, not watching the show anymore, and it was just me. And Carol and I deciding, even though she had moved to Florida to start this podcast, to find others like us who've been watching the show and to kind of figure out who our family was. And then here they are on the bleachers taking a photo together, having their own Glensgiving, And I thought that was just a beautiful. It caught me off guard, while we were setting up the booth and getting it started. I'm like, hold on a second, I'm taking a mental picture. I'm taking a mental picture of this moment. So I thought it was kind of great. It's fantastic.
One of the things that I think is really cool in that scene, and I'm not sure if anyone else noticed it, and I'm not sure why I did, but all of the adults are drinking except for Tommy, who we know has had an alcohol problem in the past, and he's the only one that raises a glass of water, besides Judith, to the tribute to Luke. And to me, that kind of was maybe signifying that he was like, I don't have to drink anymore because it's going to be okay with these people. And I wonder too, is he still a surgeon, after all this? But to me, him not, going through the alcohol was something that I thought was kind of cool.
Well, meaning, was it the system or was it the job, right?
Right.
Was it the pressure of the job, who he's doing it for? Was it the triage of the rich class versus the working class versus the trooper class? It's a really good question, though. And I like that we maybe decide for ourselves that maybe it was the system, though. That's what I would think, too. The system made it so that he didn't want to do this anymore. And it drove him to drink.
I think you get back to the root of why you would have gone to school for it, right? I know he was pressured by his family, but you get back to the root of helping people, and that's what you would want to do, right?
Well, wasn't he running the side gig with Ezekiel?
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
To kind of
Yeah.
make himself feel better about it.
He was enjoying the job. It was, like you said, it was the system, not the job itself.
Yeah, because he was kind of mad at Yumiko for saying something about him being a thoracic surgeon, because he was happy being a baker, and then it seemed like he started enjoying doing the surgeries again.
Well,
Yeah.
wouldn't you hate being put in a system in which you couldn't help people that really needed it?
Right.
Because you're only helping
But I
the
mean,
richest.
but he didn't. Well, he hated the system in the before world
yeah.
too,
Yeah, right,
because
right.
he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't tell them he was a surgeon straight up when he got there before he even knew how their system worked in the Commonwealth. So
Right.
Yeah.
Good point.
I think he was tired of the real world system, but now that he can, because I'm guessing in the real world, his family pressures wouldn't allow him to step back and go work for a pro bono clinic or something like that, which is what he probably would have enjoyed, given that he enjoyed helping Ezekiel with the poor people.
Right.
So, now that he's free to still practice what he likes doing and not have the pressure of hospital boards
and red tape,
stuff like
bureaucracy, yeah.
Yeah.
But and furthermore, the tier system and all that stuff, he's free to do it the way that he wants to do it, I guess, or the way it should be done, maybe. I wanted to go back to Adam's comments because they're a bit of a hot take. He says, I hate that landslide song. So that's all I could think about during that scene. And but actually, I wanted to actually contend that landslide wasn't necessarily. I don't think it was about that scene because it was just off the heels of Negan and Maggie's conversation about not being able to forgive you, and it does go into Glenn's giving, which does dovetail nicely to what they talked about. You know, it's all about this beautiful soul that you took away from us. But isn't landslide itself kind of like a? I had this beautiful picture in my mind about what life could be until the landslide brought it down. So like until the bat brought it down, you know, and so but then you get this like redemption, like you get this Glenn's giving, and it's like, oh, it can be okay. You know, we can have the future that we want. So I think it was more of a transitional song, and of course it's moody. And of course, Rosita.
Emotional manipulation is what it is.
Yeah, but of course, Rosita's also dying too throughout this whole thing too. So that is another landslide, but it doesn't have to be the same way as it was back in the lineup. You know, this could be like I said, a redux. Everybody's getting a redux of that moment. And then he says, "It's the vocals of the song. Songs shouldn't be sung by a goat." What was her name?
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks.
And that's a nice South Park reference too.
Nice, very nice, Adam.
Can we talk about the best part of Glenn's giving?
Please. There's so many good parts. What's the best?
Well, yeah, there is. That's my favorite part of the whole episode. But my girls got back together.
At Magna and Yumiko.
And the fact that Eleanor made it happen too, because she was supposed to have a different girlfriend. I was like, ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Also, I want to add, I was thinking I want to bring this up. I want to bring it up here. They did not hide Eleanor's pregnancy in the end, and they could have. And I like to imagine that they are expecting because
that's very complicated.
Well, I know.
You could see on the picnic blanket. In the picnic blanket, you could tell because like they're all around having like a picnic, and everyone has glasses, and Yumiko's just holding like her hand up like that, and you can kind of see the belly, and she like Eleanor was like, oh, like we have to kind of hide this in a way, and then someone's like, well, there's like surrogacy kind of stuff that could have still happened, and then she's like,
yeah,
well,
no, obviously, I just meant.
And so Eleanor's like, oh, I didn't
apocalypse.
think of that, because she's like, oh, we just kind of need to hide this because it's like, she's like, I thought Norman was gonna have to like deliver my baby during one of the scenes. She's like, a good thing that didn't happen.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that. It's not.
Yumiko's other girlfriend was probably blown up in the estate, so she was free to move on.
Yikes!
Maybe.
It looks like Punky Brewster said turkey baster.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that's inappropriate.
You could use turkey. You could do that.
It's what they used to say in the 80s. Oh, you just put a turkey baster up there, insemination.
Exactly. And during a thing, Eleanor's like, I didn't even think of that.
By the way,
but she was like,
Adam logically says would get brother to have to do the procedure. Yes, obviously, but it's more fun to make shit up.
Oh yeah, because he's the doctor. They're like, oh yeah, because the thing was like, oh well, Tommy could just do it because well he's a doctor. He could help Yumiko out with that kind of stuff, and whoever they
or
choose,
Ezekiel, huh?
Well, I mean, they could
make a face. Okay,
but I don't think it would be good.
Maybe looking at his sister's hoo-ha.
Yeah,
I don't approve of that.
Yeah, so it's Ezekiel. We all decided it's Ezekiel.
You know, that's not the weirdest thing that would probably happen in someone's life, though.
Guys,
to be fair.
Right.
Hey, look, it's the Game of Thrones crossover.
Nobody wants it.
Are they Targaryens?
Then again, it's a zombie apocalypse, and zombies roam the earth with all bits and things flying off of them.
Plus, you see, they've seen naked zombies before.
Right.
So, like,
maybe that's what a zombie stripper is.
You know, I was just about to say
they're wearing bikinis and stuff, and then they have to like, because they're variant.
Wow, he thought about this one.
They're variants. They could easily just take like the top off or
Why
something,
have
you know?
thought so much about this?
Because when they first announced secret underground nightclub,
Bridget,
I was like, oh,
Mitchell is a growing boy.
I don't
And
want
he
this
has
narrative.
needs.
I just wanted my Magna baby.
I just told them like, AMC needs to hire me for the Daryl spinoff. like,
What's up? Okay, so Yumiko and Magna are having a baby, and Eugene
That's
and
basically
Max
what
have a
they-
baby.
Rosie.
What's
Rosie.
up? What's up with Mercer and Princess? I mean, come on, guys. What are y'all waiting for?
they're just together.
You
They're
know-
taking slow.
That is something that I thought about. I was actually kind of wondering what that could have happened, right?
Well, yeah, but not everybody's able to get pregnant.
Not everybody wants to get pregnant too.
Plus, you know, they
can see
could just
that.
they could just be taking it slow too and wait a couple years before doing it after like 1 or 2 years.
And doesn't that say a lot about where they're at? Like that they can do that? I mean, that's
Yeah.
life too. When things are good, yeah, there's no less urgency to actually have kids. I mean,
Mercer wants to focus on his career.
as a lieutenant governor,
He's lieutenant governor now.
Lieutenant
Yeah.
Governor's a very demanding job.
it's the Hilltop formula. I bet
Ezekiel has
Ezekiel's
a-
on his ass doing nothing,
Ezekiel has a
and Mike's
bigger
doing
part.
everything. What were you saying, Mitchell? Sorry.
Man, I
Ezekiel
really wanted
has a
to see
bigger
Good
part.
King Ezekiel.
Because he's kind of king again.
Listen,
though.
Ezekiel just makes the speeches. Mike does everything. Let's just end it there. You know
And
that's
Carol-
true.
And Carol changed Hornsby's job into something much better. Like,
Oh,
and
so
she has her short hair again, which I love.
I think. Did everybody love that too?
Yes, I like that
Yeah.
too. Yes.
First of all, Melissa's probably like, thank God, I hated the fucking wig.
We all hated that. That's so gross.
I was okay with
Say,
it. As long as she was with
it gave
Ezekiel.
me a-
I did not like the wig.
it gave me
Ezekiel
Talk
a
for
about looking
life.
like a Targaryen.
If you guys remember why she said she kept her hair short, seeing her hair short
Yeah.
again gave me
Yeah.
a little bit of
Yeah.
pause.
Yeah. Oh,
but
I see what you're
still
saying.
liked her short
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah, well, because she
That
grew
was
it
always
out.
that
being
was
with
always
it.
my favorite stage of her hair. Watching the show was the whiskey stage. I love that. So I was so
Yeah,
glad. she
but
went
I
back.
liked how she felt safe enough with Ezekiel to let it grow out. But then but then someone her age, they don't always
Excuse me? Can I go? Go ahead.
Someone her age doesn't always like to have that very long, raggedy hair. They like to keep it short. So I think Melissa probably was like, because she's at that age, let's just cut her hair short and just have that nice short silver hair, which looks really nice.
And you also have to think about the last time she actually had it that length too. And my vivid memory is reminding myself of her at a crossroads with the saviors coming up on her, telling them, begging them, just turn away. She has the rosary beads in her hand. She's hiding the gun in the sleeve of her pocket. And just she's in this state where she's tired of killing people.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's in the state of helping so many people behind the scenes, kind of like Lance Hornsby. She's like the Secret Service or she's the deep state. She's essentially the deep state of all these communities, trying to make shit happen for them.
She'll be literally like Lance Hornsby doing something that Pamela Ezekiel doesn't know.
Yeah, but in like the best way possible. She's
I know,
facilitating.
but I feel like she'll be like, oh well, now that they know they can trust me with this job, it's like, okay, I trust you enough. We're gonna do this thing, and don't let Ezekiel know about it.
Right. In other words, like to wrap that up in a no, and you're right, and I think you're right, and it's literally the best version of herself. It's taking everything she ever was on this show, minus probably, I'm hoping, but for her own sake, a lot of the killing, indiscriminate killing, like Karen and David and all this stuff. It could be the best version of herself. Probably making cookies, making people feel good instead of threatening to kill their lives. Like,
At least she doesn't have a child that could potentially die in 2 seconds.
oh well, that kind of brings me back to.
She's taking care of Judith and RJ.
So
Yeah, but
she is though.
But she,
Man,
I know she is, but she also has help.
Can I just say,
She has help though.
Yeah.
my one hope was for the kids to not, under any circumstances,
Live under Carol?
end up with Carol.
Sorry.
Okay, but it's not just Carol this time. She'll like have help from everybody, so
Yeah.
this time they'll be safe.
There-
Because if they killed if they hurt Judith or RJ, people are going to be like rioting AMC Studios.
Not to pivot too wildly, but okay, of course, Rosita saves Coco in the orphanage, but they also save another kid whom it appears that Father Gabriel is taking care of. So I'm actually curious. Was there any mention of who that was?
I thought
Well,
that,
someone
I
said
thought it
something
was-
about it being
I thought it was
that
one of
was
Jerry's.
Coco.
There were two kids
Someone-
that were
No,
saved.
Someone
there
said
were two. I think
Yeah.
it
No,
was
there were
Gabriel
three
and-
There were
kids
three.
actually.
Oh, okay,
There
two
were
or
three
three.
kids.
Thanks for clearing
Someone
that up.
said
Yeah.
something
They-
about one
they
being
each had a
Jerry's
kid.
kid. But then,
Yeah. Well, I think
where's
one was
Adam?
Nabila and Jerry.
Oh,
Adam
'Cause
is
we-
with Maggie.
we'll
at
get
the
to
end.
Adam in a
Is
second.
he?
But let's sort this
Okay.
thing out. Okay, wait. So there were three kids that were saved. One of them is
Yeah.
definitely with Gabriel, right?
Yes.
I thought
Okay.
that
No, I
was.
thought Coco
thought-
was with
That was-
Gabriel.
I
that
thought that one was
Coco and
Coco.
Gabriel.
Yeah.
No. Coco is a little older now, and she was with Eugene. No, you're right. It might be Coco. You're right.
yeah.
Rosie was with Max and
Yes.
Eugene. That's right.
His own child was
Which,
with them.
if Rachel was on the show, Gabriel is Coco's father. Thank you very much, and good night. Let's end the show here. Okay.
Well, I mean, adoption is real. Like,
Yeah.
Not according to Rachel.
adoption is real.
I'm kidding. I'm
Adoption is
kidding.
real. Adoptive parents are not any less parents.
Exactly.
Gabe
Um,
said we're gonna get our daughter
Yeah.
back.
That's his daughter.
If Rachel were here, she'd say, "You mean the community's daughter?"
I get, I,
Swing, swing,
get,
swing.
I get what she's saying.
No, you don't. Kidding. She's not here to defend herself.
Dave, stop it. She's not here to defend-
Charmed is an awful show. Let's
Stop
keep going.
Dave, you're just trying to start fights all night.
Fake fights.
Yeah, so I assume that was Coco, and then that makes sense if it was Jerry and Nabila's.
Yeah, that's what I've
baby.
heard.
Then
saying.
who was the third baby?
Man, I don't know. Body double.
It wasn't Adam.
No.
I thought maybe
No
it
one
was.
knows
So-
who he is, so.
So I wanted to address.
Adam should be older.
So I wanted to mention Adam. Adams shows up at the hilltop. Maggie is sitting
With
by the
Maggie,
graves
right?
with Herschel to the left and Adam in the bottom right.
Adam.
Aw.
So if you
Really?
notice, yes, he's an older Adam. Obviously, a year later or 2 years later, basically, because Founders
Okay.
Day is 1 year, and then you have another year after the end of the Commonwealth arc, and he is
Well,
playing
that's
there. He's
cool.
like a 3-year-old child in front of the graves.
So Maggie has 2 children now.
That's right.
Well, I wonder then if the other random baby would have gone to like Aaron.
Again,
Aaron and Gabriel are now a thing. That's
Well, I
exactly
mean-
what it is.
You know, Aaron has Gracie, and he liked having Gracie, and he raised her by himself. Like, why
He
would
still has her though.
why would
You know,
he have another kid?
I feel like this conversation could go somewhere, but it's not. So let's. I actually.
Anyway.
It's
I
not.
have, I have 2 points that I'd like to bring up.
Oh wait, actually, can I bring up? Can I throw like a tiny rock to
Sure.
discuss before we go there? One of the names on the on the memorial fountain was Marissa something or other.
Was it? I thought it was Melissa.
Marissa Barreau. I am dumb. Do we know who that is?
No.
Okay.
I think it was one of the people that we
It's Jules'
saw
real
get
name.
eaten in the hospital. Remember, it was two.
Yeah.
were random
There's
people in the
at least 3. Yeah.
Two Commonwealth people.
Yeah.
that
I
just
think
got
it-
eaten when the walkers came in.
It was Jules' real name because they certainly didn't mention her at the dinner.
Well, her name was on the
name
fountain.
was on the
Jules
plaque.
Butler was on the
Yeah.
fountain. Or Julie Butler.
But
Julie?
yeah, I did.
No,
I
it
was
was
like,
Jules.
what a diss to Jules.
No, Jules Butler was on the
No.
fountain with Luke Abrams.
to Luke, and no one else.
To Luke.
I was kind of it was kind of iffy about
They
it.
literally took like Brett because it's like the 2 last names are from 2 actors on the show. Like Brett Butler, who played
Yeah.
the girl who got her head on the I don't remember her
Tammy
name.
Rose.
Yeah, I miss her
Yeah,
dearly. And then
Tammy
the
Rose.
other one was Austin Abrams, who played Ron. Which, hashtag Con, Carl and Ron forever. But now they're both in heaven together.
What did you just hashtag Carl and Ron
No.
who hated
No.
each other
No,
to the
Mitchell.
point where Ron shot his eye?
No.
Hey,
No,
you know what?
Mitchell.
Respect. Hashtag respect. Thank you, Midnight.
I've had this thing since
That wasn't
watching.
a bullet, my friend. That wasn't a bullet.
That was
Because the way they kept looking at each other throughout their conversations,
That was the initial-
and the way they fought each other,
it was
like-
homoerotic. I guess a little.
and then he got so close to Carl. Sometimes I'm like, oh, they're just gonna kiss. The only reason he only shot Carl in the eyes because he was going to shoot it at Rick, and then Michonne stabbed him, so he kind of just had the gun and just shot the gun.
I mean,
so it's Michonne's
touche.
fault Carl lost his eye technically.
Touche.
I'm not gonna.
Touche.
This is not where I thought this was going.
Probably not the first time he misfired.
Shabba.
Maybe, but because Michonne stabbed him, he was like, oh, and just shot it, kind of like, oh.
Oh boy.
Oh,
But
you
I've had this
sweet
thing
angel
for like a
baby.
year and a half now since
you know
the
what?
pandemic.
Every now and again, I keep bringing up my ship desire for Aaron and Daryl. Okay, and so that's all I'm gonna say. That's it.
So hashtag con
I
are
don't
peacefully
disagree.
together.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think Daryl is pansexual.
Okay. I mean, like, we thought asexual, but I guess he can get it on with Carol, Aaron,
he could still be
and Donnie, and
he could still
Connie.
be he could still be asexual with, but and that he could still be dating
I think
Aaron. He
the-
just doesn't want to have sex, kind of thing. He wants
Well,
to
then
have a relationship.
Then he would be asexual. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
complete.
he doesn't want to have sex, but if he's aromantic, he doesn't want to have a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, that's really how the asexual relationships are. They're just emotional, intellectual relationships,
Mhm.
essentially. Just
So
no
that's
sex.
pretty much what him and Connie already have.
Is
He's
this
already-
where this conversation was going to?
Oh, plus,
What did you bring up originally?
It was the Ron Carl thing, and it just made me think of Daryl and Aaron, and then we went to.
happened?
And Jesus and Aaron apparently were never a thing, so there we
you
go.
guys obviously don't know me well enough to not know this Carl and Ron thing.
Clearly not.
It's true. And I get it.
But like, oh my, what was I gonna say? I don't even fucking know.
Not nobody knows what we were all saying, actually.
What happened?
Oh, okay. So Eugene was like, "Oh, I'm like 45 and like I'm a virgin." So he's no longer the 45-year-old virgin now, with Rosie being born.
Well, he kind of had anyway.
He never had sex with Shira.
Adam says.
What kind of program?
Adam also says in the chat, Lee is the only one to receive Daryl that was known of. Which,
Exactly.
That kind of theory confirmed, right? So that he
and we
does
see
have
how
sex.
well that worked out for her. We see how well that
Or-
worked out for her.
or him, or
don't-
Maggie almost.
I'm still salty about the fact that he was like, sorry,
Wait a minute.
I got Glenn killed forever ago, so I can never have feelings again.
I think
I still was holding out hope that he was
I
going
killed her.
I think
Yeah,
I understand.
I killed her.
So Carol kills kids, and
Dia was
Daryl's
supposed to have-
semen makes bad, evil people essentially.
Apparently,
Makes bad
Dia
guys.
was supposed to be a thing.
He has the
okay?
evil seed in him. He can never have sex with it. That's why Connie and he
I'm
haven't
gonna
had
start
sex.
talking about what I wanted to talk about.
And Carol.
Oh, yeah.
For you guys.
Carol
This
would
really
kill
got off
another
track.
couple. Anyway.
This got off track.
No shit.
So anyway, we're talking about like different parallels. I got a couple.
Okay,
so I'm just
sorry
gonna
about that.
keep going.
You're
Okay.
right. We did sidetrack.
So-
My bad.
Okay.
Or Mitchell's bad.
So, one, Judith was in and out of consciousness at the very beginning of the episode, much like Rick was.
Right.
And then we got the gurney thing, and then we got the walker with the rock,
Right.
mimicking It was episode 2 of season 1, Guts, in which the walker has the rock and breaks through the department store window. Those were the parallels that I have written down. The other thing I wanted to mention was that. No, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
would say on the note of variants, though, the mechanics of the walkers in this episode denotes that there were so many variants. They get into the orphanage, and Rosita goes into the room where Coco is staying, and
Grabs her
the
arm.
variant grabs her arm.
Yeah.
It's just free. It's everywhere. But I thought that one was the most notable too, aside from the obvious one with the rock in the hospital window. But yes, go ahead.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Can I add to that really
Yes,
quick?
please.
Not only did he grab her arm, but I swear in my mind he was hiding behind the door waiting for somebody to come.
It was like he was, yeah.
Wow. I'll accept
He's
it.
a real
Yeah.
weirdo, that guy.
Yeah. What a jerk.
The only other thing that I had to mention was that, so Jerry and Elijah come in, before they close the gate, and we all saw it on the screen. We're all screaming in our seats.
Yeah.
Is that Jerry? Is that Jerry? Is that Jerry?
They could
we're
have killed
so
him
excited.
though.
But there's that moment that Jerry's talking to Ezekiel. I'm just gonna ignore it.
Are you though?
Jerry's talking to Ezekiel, and he's just like, "Where's Nabila?" And they're like, "She's safe." And then he's like, "We got to go back out there. There's so many people that need help." And it didn't take until the second watch through that I was like, "Oh my God, how many people did they watch die right in front of their eyes and were unable to do anything?"
Well, there's a bit of a clue about that, and that's there is an actual dude. There was a commotion when they're at the safe house. Finally, they look out the window and they see an actual dude. This is not a walker. This is a person at the top of the wall, and they shoot the person. And Mercer's like, "This is getting out of hand. People are dying." So it gives you the tiniest of clues, and Jerry fills in the blanks that there are probably still a bunch of people out there.
No, dude. That is not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about they're in a horde that is actively eating people.
Right.
And they have to be in it.
So what you're saying is that when they blew up the estates, they blew up a bunch of people too. But they probably were bit. No.
Dave. What I'm saying is that, oh my gosh, I'm kicking everything now.
Great, I'm going to hear that later.
What I'm saying is that, you are, is that as they're in the horde, and they're heading through the Commonwealth, people are being pulled down by this horde, and they can't do anything to help them. They just have to keep going.
Yeah. Oh, there was another bit too.
It's like PTSD. Like they make it, and instead of Jerry being like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad that's over," he's like, "We got to get back out there because I just saw a bunch of people get killed."
Right.
Yeah. Actively, not here at the gate, but as I was in this tornado of
this Walker-nado, yeah.
Yeah.
This Walker-nami. Right.
Yeah, that was what I was talking about.
Yeah,
I mean, all of the other things are things too. But
so they allude also to that in another scene, as they get to the safe house. They're, who was this? I don't know if this was Trooper Rose or something. I know they get there and then they hear screams in the distance, like literally a lady.
It's before they go. It's Aaron and Ezekiel, and they're packing up the convoy
at the hospital.
And they're gonna leave to go find Tommy in the safe house.
Right.
And they hear a woman scream, and Aaron's like, "We got to do more," and Ezekiel's like, "We will."
Right.
But first, we have to get Judith.
And that's like another indicator of the chaos. I like that.
I just meant like they're so actively in it, like that's such a specific. Like no one else has gone through that, being in a horde for that long.
Right.
And seeing it run into civilization. No one else has experienced that the way that Elijah and Jerry would have. And
Aaron
Luke
partially.
and Jules actually too.
Oh, Jules and Luke too. Aaron partially, Lydia. Yeah. Well, not partially, totally.
They were in it too.
Yeah. That's
I want to add on the parallels that Bridget was talking about. One of the ones that stood out to me was at the end when Carol is crying with her final scene with Daryl, and she says, "You're my best friend," which in 10:01 he's like, "You're my best friend," and she's like, "Oh, you're gonna make bracelets?"
What a friendship bracelet.
So I just thought that was kind of funny to parallel their story from then to now.
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna call him gay in that scene too. Like, "Oh, what are you, gay?" 10:01.
That would have been hilarious.
It would have been hilarious actually. Because it would be
I would have been like, "Join the team. Join the team. We'll gladly accept you. You have to, shower every day though."
Right, exactly. and also on top of being gay, stop being a pussy. Because that's where she was at, Anyway.
It's happening again.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. I hate to say this.
Just keep derailing into fanfic.
I hate to say this, guys, but I do actually have I'm leaving the box.
You have to go.
The series finale, and I get to finally leave the box. So we should bring this to a close finally. I hate to say it, but we should leave off on a note. And what I'd like to do, if that's okay with all of you, I'd like to read basically the bits between Rick and Michonne, if I may, because it's really all one statement, basically, and that's I think of the dead all the time, and about the living who I lost. I tried to get you and your brother again and again. It's too far for the radio now. I know that, but I still got you, and you got me. We're connected. We're still connected. I think about them all every day. To everybody we've ever loved, their faces, what I learned from them, how they made me who I am, so much more than all this made me who I am. We'll always be together even when apart. We, together, the strongest thing, are the strongest thing. We're love, and love is endless. So we, those gone, all of our lives, those away, they come in one life. We are endless. We're together, pieces of a whole that just keep going on, going for what we have, what we gave each other. One unstoppable life. You showed me that. You gave me that. I know you're back there. Your brother is back there. Just as sure as I know he's out there somewhere. Not just as a part of us. He's alive out there. I will find him because I know he's trying to find us. Remember what I said. It's what he said. Hold it to your heart. It's true forever. We're the ones who live. And then Judith and RJ say at the end, we get to start over. We're the ones who live.
Oh, and then it flashes through all those.
Yeah,
well,
right
during
scenes.
during the whole thing, it's just the memories, and
Getting
I'm like,
Morgan there too. That was great.
At least they remember all who they've lost and who they left behind.
It really
Wow.
dovetails nicely to Sasha Williams in 905, with Rick's vision of her in Among All the Bodies. It's another redux. Like, well, we're saying the same thing again, but we're telling it from a different perspective. That it's the people we lose and the people who survive that carry everybody we've ever met and learned from along the way. Just like, fuck you. Just like I do with you guys. So, I'll try not to. So, yeah, we're the ones who live. I haven't cried at all. I have not cried in this series finale. Just now, it's hit me a little bit.
I should get that tattoo.
Actually,
We're the
Dave,
ones who live.
We are the ones who live because we're live right
Yeah,
now.
and we're about to end it. So with that, everybody, if you like what you heard, head over to ratethispodcast.com/squawkingdead. 5 stars and an eggplant is all we need to know that you love us. But tell us what you liked. Tell us what you didn't like all the shipping. Tell us what we missed. But remember to tell us after every episode. And if you really like what we're doing and you want to show up on these episodes, join the Survivors tier. Or join the Whisperers tier if you're strapped for cash and you still want some perks, like 50% off in the merch store. Or the ability to join us in our Jackbox Games live streams, which we will probably be having a lot of in the next several weeks or so. But start yourself off. And this is the only thing we ask you to do, is follow us at patreon.com/squawkingdead and ko-fi.com/squawkingdead. When you do, you'll have the ability to see our schedules because we don't post them on social media. You'll have the ability to know when our unedited episode recordings drop, not like this one because this one was live, but in the future. And you'll get them early before they get edited down for popular consumption. With that, everybody, I've been your host, David Cameo, the Rick Grimes of this podcast. And I was joined by Cosmos here and I, Rachel Burt, who left to do her thing at, was it Cat's Meow? And Sharon D, a.k.a. Blazy Gardner. Bridget, ko-fi.com/Punky Brewster. Whispers tier members, Jasmine.iac, ko-fi.com/Aiden Atkin. Aiden Atkin, that's in the top of my screen. And we got Whispers tier member Mitchell. I found them Rick G on Twitter. And Takira, who is, wait, hold on a second. Is Tashiyama
Maybe 420
on Instagram, but Tashiyama on the Twitter. And wait, there was one more, Molly, who is
Agent of Trauma.
Agent of Trauma on Twitter. Wait, am I missing anybody? Because this is quite
Tyler.
the show.
Tyler.
Yes, and Whispers here. Remember Tyler Phillicox everywhere. Remember to catch his channel. The last episode I saw him on so far is he did a really great interview with the guy who played Alvaro on The Walking Dead, and it was fantastic. It was right around the time where, what was it? Hawkeye came out on Disney Plus. Was it? Terrific interview. What is his name? His real name?
Carlos Navarro.
Great interview. I think he did fantastic. I listened to it on the way down on my last trip to Sonoy, or the one beforehand. It was incredible. It was a great job. And he was on here for a little while. What? Anyway, Take care, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the live stream if you were here live. And if you're not and watching the replay, I still love you. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and do all those things. And thank you for joining us on this journey talking about The Walking Dead. I can't wait to see what comes. And again, remember, we are the ones who live. We ain't The Walking Dead. Sorry. We're more than just that. We're everything and everyone and all the lessons that we've learned that we carry with us wherever we go. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.